Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Christian.
Oh,
Good evening. Hi, Christian.
Hey, Christian.
what's going on? I recognize that voice from like 10 miles away. So we're doing this again, huh? Another virtual meeting. This COVID thing's not over yet. Ay.
I don't think it's going to be over till the fall, to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. So whoever it is that Sandra?
Yeah, it's me. Hi, you recognize
That's
the voice.
you know when you work with people and you just hear their voices from like the next room, you already know who they are.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Marilyn, please mute yourself so that doesn't.
Okay, Georgina. Georgina is on.
Hi, good evening, Christian. Good evening, everyone. How are you? It's Jamal.
I hear an echo.
Yeah, Christian, there's an echo going on. Okay, bear with us, everyone. There's some echo going on.
Yeah, I can't tell you where we. If anybody is not, just mute yourselves because chances are it's going on in the background. So that I can help with, guys.
Christian, is there any way someone can mute Clara?
Yes. I will mute myself.
Okay, thank you. And then Ashley's also not muted. That might be a few interferences. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the interference did stop. So once Clara was muted, so for what it's worth, it helped. So that's good. But I'll be muted nonetheless.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great.
And Duwan is here as well, Marilena. So I don't know how we're gonna handle that, but if Duwan's gonna be handling the roll call, then we should designate that pretty soon.
Okay, sure. Okay, so Dewan, it's now 7:03. We'll wait 2 more minutes. Wait, 7:05. A few more people are joining in now. Okay, perfect. All right, so
Yeah,
is
sorry,
Dewan
this is
on
Dewan.
here on the phone?
Yes, I'm present. Did you need me to message? Sorry about that. I apologize.
It's okay, Dewan. Yeah, we can actually in a minute call the attendance. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, can I actually have 2 minutes? I'm sorry.
Sure. So Dewan, you just have to call the attendance, and then also you have to make sure that the minutes are approved from the last meeting.
Okay. Let me see if I can find a better place with reception.
Okay.
Fortunately, where I am.
Am I muted or unmuted?
You were, as of right now, you were unmuted, so we heard you. So you were unmuted.
I know.
Okay, that's Lou Walker. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, we recognize that, Lou. Thank you. What's up, Marcello?
All right. If we can also unmute mute Gurdeep and Lucy, and Georgina's still not muted.
Yeah, I'm not speaking. I'm just listening.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Georgina, you should still mute because we could get feedback. So if you're not there, just click the mute button. It would help us out a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's not because we don't want to hear from you. It's just that there's a lot of interference today for whatever reason. We hear a lot of static and echoes. Okay, so it is 7:05. We're going to call the meeting. We have Dewan taking the attendance, and also we're going to see if we can approve the minutes from last month's meeting. If anyone has any issues with that, it's, after it would be your time to speak. We're going to be doing that at the same time, which we did last meeting. I think it worked out well. Okay, so Dewan just messaged us in the chat. He has poor reception. So I guess I'm going to do it. Thank you everyone for your patience. All right, so we're going to do roll call. And also, please let me know if you accept last month's meeting or if you have any comments or changes. Lucy Cerezo Scully. Chao Chung Chen. Okay, he's here. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Let's approve the minutes when we do the open session. Probably be easier so we don't have to unmute everyone. Yi Chen. David Chung.
Here.
Linda Corral.
Here.
Michelle Dunstan. Aridia Espinal.
Yes.
Is Ari Espinal here? Okay. Marilena Jampino here. Christina Gonzalez. Oh, sorry, Kristen Gonzalez. Sorry, your name is spelled wrong on here. I don't know why. She's here. Vincent Lasella. Don't think he's here. James Lisa. Salvatore Lombardo. Carol Machaluski.
Here.
Perfect. Sunil Mahat.
Here.
Patricia Martin. Sylvia Martin's here. Oh, Pat Martin is here, actually. Okay. Sylvia Martin's here. Matthew McElroy. Is Rovenia McGowan?
Here. Yeah, Ravenia?
Yes, here.
Okay. Edgar Moya is here. Ruby Muhammad. I don't think she's here. No. Sandra Munez is here. Gurdeep Singh Narula here. Georgina
I'm
Owens
here.
is here. Alexa Owens is here. Kind of fast pacing this, guys, so we can get through it. Alexa Ponce. Not here. Rupinja Raj. No, not here. Ashley Reed is here. Oscar Rios. No, he's not here. Neil Roman. No, he's not here. Christian Romero. I don't think he's here right now. Fernando Ruiz. Clara Salas is here. Lucy Sherrill is here. A-Red Sevilla is
Here.
here. He is here. Okay. Alton Derek Smith. Gregory Spock is here. Dewan Tariq is here. Just poor reception. Marcello Testa is here. Isaida Valcastarel, sorry for the pronunciation, not here. Lou Walker's here. And Minwen Yang. No. Okay. Let's see if we have a quorum. (26). So I believe we do have a quorum. So do you guys want to vote on the minutes now, since we do have a quorum? We could do that. Does anyone have any issues with the minutes?
No.
No, I make a motion
No. Okay, Clara makes a motion.
to accept the minutes as presented.
Perfect.
I
Anyone second?
I second.
James Rue? Okay, everyone, yes?
Yes.
It passes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so now we're going to move on for my report. So I just want to start off on a happy note. So we have a lot of nice little holidays this month. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Happy Black History Month, of course. It's a whole month of celebrations. Happy President's Day to all, and you know, just have a great month, everyone. I just want to go over the community board member feedback survey. You all should have gotten it from in an email. Actually, it's a quick question and answer survey that we talked about last month. If you, I know not everyone has filled it out, so if you haven't done so, just take a few minutes, fill it out. We really, and it's anonymous. You don't have to put your name. You can if you want, but it's really important just to give us any suggestions, comments, concerns. It's just to better help the office function, the board function, and our meetings function. So any feedback, please give it. Please, you know, feel free to say whatever you want. And we are looking at them, so we're still waiting for more to come in. So everyone, please fill that out. The other thing, I just want to give some updates about Borough Hall. Borough Hall is proposing to change the community board bylaws to include such things such as inclusivity. Just, you know, kind of update things a little bit. So when we get more information on that, we will update the full board on it. Also, Borough Hall is still accepting applications for board member renewals, and I know there's a lot of board members here that are up for renewal. So please fill out the online form. It's online now, and Christian will give you more details on this later. Another updates to the board, our board member, Rosa Wong, she has actually resigned her position on the board, so she's no longer with us. And then other happy news, the youth committee and the health committee, they both have new leadership. So I want to introduce Ari Espinal as the new health committee chair. Congratulations, Ari. And Sylvia Martin is now the new youth committee chair. So congratulations to you both. Good luck in your new roles. And we're looking forward to hearing from you later on in your committee reports. And I just want to also, I know everyone, it's just been, you know, such a hard year. The pandemic is still going on. I know everyone, it's really important to just keep on practicing your social, you know, your social distancing, your safety measures, wear a mask. I know there's going to be City Field that's opening up for the COVID vaccination. So just keep an eye on all these emails that we're going to be sending out with updates on, you know, COVID testing and vaccinations. There's still a lot of uncertainties out there. A lot of people are suffering. So, you know, if we all kind of spread the word out about these email updates, you know, that would be great to just help people if they don't know. We have the privilege of getting this information firsthand. So just please keep on, you know, sharing that information. Also, I know there's a pandemic, but there's still a lot of quality of life issues going on in CB4, Corona, and Elmhurst. So if you guys see anything, it could be anything from traffic issues, garbage issues, anything, DOT issues, any issue you find, you know, you could take pictures, you could call 311, you could save the reference number, and you can report it to the board office, and the board office could follow up with that reference number to the agencies that would be responsible. So I know it's a lot, but, you know, there's a pandemic, but we could still do our little part on little things that we see for the quality of life in our neighborhoods. The last thing I'm going to get into is last month at both the executive board meeting and at the community board meeting, we talked about attendance. So I know the ongoing issue with CB4 for the past few years, attendance has been an ongoing issue. It's been poor. It's been affecting our quorums and our abilities to go about our proper board business. So we talked about that already, and we also mentioned that the attendance awareness letters were going to be sent out in the mail and by email to, you know, to everyone that, you know, just might not know their attendance, and just to keep them updated on that issue. With that being said, we know that the pandemic's still going, and there's certain people who are still getting used to virtual meetings or joining us on the phone. We will keep on, you know, helping you guys with that if you need any help. But basically, the executive board and myself, we made the decision to exercise our ability to vote members off off the board, but these are members that really they were given notice and they didn't seem concerned or interested. And these are members who practically they're like non-existent, like they really don't show up to any meetings. So we're not doing it to like penalize anyone, but we just feel like, you know, if you don't have any interest, that's fine. You know, it's a volunteer position. There's no obligations, but it's not fair to the rest of us who are here. They attend the meetings and we're involved and we want to make, you know, these decisions and these votes and do the right thing. So these 4 members are Rupinder Raj, Fernando Ruiz, Neil Roman, and Azaida Valsarel. These are the members that, as an executive board, we decided that they really just don't attend any meetings, and we're giving, you know, we gave them the opportunity. They're showing no interest, and we are going to take our ability to vote them off tonight. So I will open the floor for a board member. I know maybe someone from the executive board wanted to make that motion.
I make the motion to approve the recommendation of the executive board to remove the members of poor attendance.
Thank you, Ashley.
I do the second.
Thank you, Gurdeep.
Marlena, because nobody made the motion, that means nobody's jumping to do this for what it's worth. Again, maybe you might want to consider not going through a slate, but maybe individual votes for what it's worth. Maybe.
Oh, Ashley just made the motion.
Correct.
Gurdeep seconded. So do we want to do a roll call? We can do a roll call.
I just can I say one thing?
Sure, Michelle.
Yeah, because I got in touch with Vinny, and Vinny said he's been trying to get on, but the web it's not letting him in. Been on in a couple of meetings because the WebEx is not letting him get in. He's aware.
Okay, so Christina will try to help him then. But this is like literally we're not penalizing anyone. This is just for the 4 members who just don't come. It has nothing to do with Vinny.
Oh, okay.
It's the 4 members who just don't come to any meetings, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I'll do a roll call, and then Christina can unmute everyone as I call their name. And if I miss anyone, if they're new on the call, then we can always go back. Chao Chung Chen. Mr. Chen?
Why won't we report that last time when the public Queensboro public budget hearing, something about that?
No, Mr. Chen, this is for 4 members who do not come to our community board meetings or the committee meetings. We're going through the motion. A motion has been made, and we're going to do a roll call to see if everyone approves that motion to vote.
On it tells you how to unmute. Once you unmute yourself, you'll hear everything.
The motion about the people cannot participate.
Try to get in touch with Christina.
Well, that's what we have to follow. What the rule about. So
right.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Chen. So we that's what we're saying, that they're not attending any meetings. Do you accept to vote them off? Yes or no?
Well, it depends how many times, right?
Okay. All right.
If not, they sometimes miss a couple of outs, not too serious.
No, these are not people who missed 2, 5 meetings. This is like people who maybe attended 1 meeting.
Mr. Chen, all right, for what, there's 2 things going on. First off, somebody is still unmuted in the background and we can hear you. And I mean, I don't want to call name Lucy, I think it's you. Mr. Chen, from you, we need a simple yes or no vote. And for every board member after Mr. Chen, we need a yes or no.
That have to be over 3 times, more than 4 times.
Yes, it's much more than 4 times, Mr. Chen. We've done the research. So the executive board has proposed already to vote them off, and that's why we're bringing it to the full board.
Yeah,
so it's either a yes or a no.
Everybody agree for that, I'm not going to oppose.
Okay, thank you. Okay, David Chung.
Yes.
Thank you. Linda Corral.
Yes.
Michelle Dunstan,
Yes.
Ari Espinal,
Yes. Well, hold on. Do we know, I'm sorry, do we know the attendance record of them or we don't?
Christian, do you
Okay.
want to just go into that?
Yeah,
If people may have.
yeah. So I mean, if the actual numbers, for what it's worth, I'll try to access them right now. But I want to be very clear to all the members. Borough Hall has been reaching out to every board member. I'm sorry, Marilyn. Just give me like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, actually, it's good because other people might have this question.
Correct. So Borough Hall very recently began its process of reaching out to board members who have 5 or more absences on our board. We, of course, did the same thing. But in addition to those board members who have 5 or more absences, we went back even further. And as you guys know, we have an issue with quorums. It just so happens that we have about 4 members, specifically 4 members, who have between 19 and 20 absences. All right, is it that many? I think it's an entire year.
Yeah,
almost
it's 2 years combined. Yeah.
We did over the course of 2 years, and these board members have missed a close 95 to 90%. They haven't attended any committee meetings. They haven't attended any board meetings. Some of the members maybe attended one, but this is over the course of an entire two-year stretch. So the members that are being removed right now are not those that have 5 more absences, but those that have about between 18 to 20 absences over the last 2 years. To reference Vinny, Michelle, really quickly, all board members have the ability of just calling in. A standard cell phone, even a landline, is more than enough to log in and to be able to be put in. But what it's worth, those that are being voted off right now are members who have substantial amount of attendance, who have not been removed by the powers that be, and that we now have the right to remove, who have 10, maybe between 9 and 10 absences per year. To be very clear, over the last 2 years. Many of you haven't even seen these people at these meetings, for what it's worth. So to be very clear, they were called, they were emailed, they were written to, all forms of communication was sent to them, and we did make contact with many, none of which really seemed to show much interest aside from, okay, cool. So with that being said, you guys can vote as you see fit, but everybody was probably informed. Thanks.
Christian, I have the absence numbers if anyone actually needs them.
Thank you. Christina, if you can, please, if that's okay with you, can you share those? That'd be great.
Okay. What were the 4 names?
Thank you so much.
It's for Pinta Raj, Fernando Ruiz, Neil Roman, Isaida Vasarel.
Okay, so for 2019, Rupinder was appointed in 2019. So of the 7 meetings that she could have gone to, she only attended 3 of them. So she had 4 absences for 2019, and she had 10 absences in 2020. For Fernando Ruiz, of the 7 meetings that he could have attended in 2019, he only attended 1 of them, and then he attended no meetings in 2020. Neil Roman, of the 10 meetings he could have made in 2019, he missed 7. And let's see. And in 2020, he missed 6.
Okay.
And then there's also Isaida.
Yeah.
Okay, for Isaida, she was also appointed in 2019. She missed all 7 in 2019. And in 2020, she missed all of them as well. So she has never attended a board meeting since being appointed.
Okay, thank you, Christina.
Thank you,
Yeah, and
No
just to go over it, we're not doing this to be, mean board, mean CB4, but we're just doing it also because since applications are due, people that might really want to join the community and make a difference, we're giving space for other people to join. These people obviously, they haven't attended and things get in the way, in life, and that's fine. But this is really the reasons that, a lot of reasons we talked about this in the executive board, and also Borough Hall is going through this as well. So just to clarify things. So we were up to Ari Espinal, and I know she had voted yes, and she said thank you. For myself,
can you send them last, Marilyn? Can you send them a notice, last notice to the
people, they are not coming. At least you can give the opportunity again, one-time notice again.
Yes,
Mr.
Gurdeep.
Mr. Narula, we have sent enough notices. We're one step short of sending smoke signals. We have done everything we possibly can. They are fully aware of the process, and the letter specifically stated not that they were going to be removed, but that the board was going to consider enforcing its amendment, its right to do so as per the charter. Because we've had a lot of work on the board for a very long time. So, for what it's worth, Marilyn, let me just clear the air very quickly. This is an issue that has been brought up to us many times over, and this is exactly why at last month we were here until 11 o'clock, because we don't have quorums at many of our meetings, and this is exactly why our letters go out late, because last month we had to vote on 5 items versus the usual 1 or 2. The previous month we had no quorum. The month before that we had no quorum, and these are people who continue to remain on our board for a very, very long time and never being removed. In addition to receiving the meeting notice every month, they did receive letters from the board office as well as phone calls, as well as emails. I don't know how many more letters we could send, but I'm open for suggestions. For what it's worth, there is a motion on the floor.
That's
So.
okay. You did.
Yeah,
You did enough here. You did enough.
We're about
enough.
A motion on the floor. When we get to your name, you can, obviously say yes, say no, abstain, make your comments. Let's just go in order, guys. So next up, Kristen Gonzalez. I don't think she's here. Okay.
Yep, I'm here. And
oh, you're here? Okay, perfect. You accept? I'm sorry.
Yep, I accept.
Thank you. Is Vincent Lascella on now, by any chance?
No, no opinion. No.
Oh, Vinny's on the phone?
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
Christina, can we mute everyone who is not being called? I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll go back to Vinny. Carol Mashalewski.
Yes.
Sunhil Mahat.
Yes.
Patricia Martin.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sylvia Martin.
Yes.
Yes.
Matthew McElroy.
Yes.
Does Ravinia wanna?
Ravinia? Ravinia?
Yes.
Did you hear that, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Edgar Moya.
Yes.
Sandra Munez. I know Sandra was on.
Yes.
Oh, yes, and she's
Yes.
voted yes in the chat. Okay. Gurdeep Singh Narula.
Yes.
Georgina Oliver.
Yes.
Alexandra Owens.
Yes.
Ashley Reed. Well, you made the motion. Okay. Clara Salas.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Lucy Cirillo. Lucy?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Red Savella.
Yes.
Alton Derek Smith.
Alton, you're muted. But he did say yes.
Gregory Spock.
Gregory actually said yes in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
We skipped Kristen Romero.
Did I skip him?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Madam Chair. Yes for me too.
Okay, thank you. Dewan Tariq.
Yay.
Thank you. Marcello Testa.
Yes.
Lou Walker. Is Lou still on?
Yes.
Okay, thank
I'm
you,
voting
Lou.
yes.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, so the motion passes. And that was part of my my report. So my report is finished now. Thank you, everyone. And I'm gonna pass it over
Can
to
you hear me?
Christian. I'm sorry.
Hi, it's Alexa. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew I was here.
Oh, okay, Alexa. Yes, yes. Okay, I'll count you in. And
yes, I'm
would
a
you
yes
like
as
to
well.
vote? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Marilena, also, I got a text from Vinny Lachalos where he said he is dialed in and he also votes yes. He just has issues getting his webcam on.
Okay, no problem. Perfect. Thank you.
Christian, can you text me the number he's calling from so I can
Yes, of course,
unmute him?
absolutely. Yep. Let me, Christina, so look, I'm going to do my report. Yeah, I'll do it for you. Marilena, are you done?
Yes, I'm done. Yeah, don't do your report.
So, all right, Christina, so look, let me just finish this report real quickly and I'll get you that number, yeah?
All right.
Okay, so my turn, my floor. Thank you again, Madam Chair. Another one of these. I can't believe we're still doing these. I know you guys get nervous when I say I'm going to do this really fast, but here it goes. So put on, here it comes. I see everybody already smirking. So yeah, it's been a pretty busy month. I don't know why, but it's been busy for what it's worth. I'm just going to touch on a couple of random items, and you know me, I'd like to just report throughout the night with other items that we have. But of course, into the committees that I work with, some of the closest committees I work with is the Youth and the Health Committee. So congrats to both Sylvia and Ari. I've known you both. Ari, I've known you for many years now, and Sylvia came on as originally as a volunteer, and eventually made it onto Youth Committee, and now you're chairing it. So I have no doubt that we're going to work well together. You guys know your positions well. Looking forward to it. So let's start with that. As far as my job goes, the main thing that we had to handle this month, as you guys know, we have just entered, or I guess depending on who you ask, we just exited budget season. This is around the time of the year where we were supposed to go, and I did, as a matter of fact, to go to testify to the elected officials, the borough president, the city council, on any funding that we're looking for the coming year, for FY22 to be allocated come July of this year. The process normally entails district managers of every district going out to discuss the capital expense. Some of our top items are advocated for at Borough Hall. But the truth is, I took into account the fact that we're now in the middle of COVID, and things aren't necessarily flowing the way they have. And I felt that many of us felt that me going up there to advocate for a new precinct is not going to be, I'm not going to be the driving force behind getting us a new precinct or a new hospital or a new library. I was very clear in my testimony that we understand what our capital items are. We know where expense items are. It's there. It's on the need statement. Me going to discuss it for 2 minutes is not going to get us those items. So instead, what I did, and I discussed this with several chairs and the executive committee members, we requested more tangible items, more something on local level, small items that are in the tens of thousands versus in the millions. Not to necessarily cover capital projects, but more like some of our workshops. So what I'd like to do is I'll go down the 4 or 5 or so items that were discussed. And then I'll keep moving my report. The 4 items that we discussed, the first one, as you guys know, is the art projects. As you guys know, I've been talking about art projects and murals and replacing graffiti throughout the district for as long as you guys can remember. So I'm happy to report that the Elmhurst mural is well underway. I myself am out there. I mean, it's been a little while, but I spent up to 5-6 hours painting with our artists out there. And for what it's worth, the conditions are pretty bad, and she deserves a lot more than just a thank you. I'm talking like the paint, it's like painting with rubber cement. The moment the brushes hit the wall, they stick to it and you have to peel it off. So, it's coming together, but, slowly but surely, hopefully if all goes well in the next week or so, we'll see it done. So if you don't know where it is, it's down to 8207 Broadway. Lend a hand to the artist, lend some support. It's getting a lot of positive feedback, and it's actually brightening up that corner. So the idea and what I advocated for is to request money directly from the borough president's office. And I mean it in the nicest way to our council people, but a lot of times whenever council people give us money, it represents projects specifically in their district, and that kind of ties our hands. We want to do something district-wide. So what we did was, and again, whether it happens or not, we don't know yet, but I have every intention of going to our borough president and see if there's a possibility we can get a large chunk of change that we can use to do mural replacement project district-wide, identify locations where graffiti can be replaced, and then we would in turn replace it with an artist mural, and the same process that we've done thus far. So that was the first item. The second item is something that we've all been requesting for the last couple of years. You guys remember that just a couple of years back, just last year, we received a stipend of $42,000 for every community board that we were supposed to use for supplies, CB4 swag, promotional whatnot, of which we purchased all. However, for those who don't know, the community boards just underwent a budget cut that we're still trying to fight, but nonetheless, we took the cut nonetheless. So the second item that I requested, in addition to graffiti and art cleanup, is money for swag. We want more canvas bags, we want more pens, we want more pencils, more brochures, and these are items that unfortunately have to come out of our regular budget. So the request has been to the city council and borough president to provide us with more of that. The third item out of 4 is community events. Every year we advocate for a youth fair. It's a nominal amount. Up until now, the youth fair has been held only exclusively in Elmhurst, and we were considering doing it for Corona this past year. But as we know, this little thing called COVID that's just shaking us all up said that we're not allowed to do a youth fair this year. So we decided to hold back. Nonetheless, we will still be advocating for that money and have requested money from both sides, the Corona and the Elmer side, so we can do it conducively on both sides if need be. And the last thing is the community board cut. As we know, you guys are all volunteers. You only have a paid staff of 3. The staff is the one that handles all these meeting notices. Christina, thank you. Props to you for handling these meetings as well as you do. But we are still understaffed for what it's worth. And so we are going against the cuts. The truth is, for the amount of money they're taking for every community board to bridge the gap, thousands to us doesn't do anything for the city's budget in the long run. That's how much money DOT spends on a daily basis with cups and coffee. So taking the cut from community board right now is something we are strongly against. And as was discussed at the last community board meeting, letters were sent to both our council members to follow in the footsteps of some of their colleagues in government to please advocate against cuts for the community board. So those are the 4 items we discussed. I'm just going to blaze through a couple of other really quick items. 1 second, I'll let my tablet. The next item has to do with the budget as well. We know that we work on our needs statement every day. That's our community board Bible, so to speak, that discusses all the items in the district that are wrong and right and things that we like. And we just received the response back from all the city agencies. So the chairs, you are going to receive the full list very soon. As a matter of fact, the full board will receive it, but we are required to provide a response to the mayor's office on how we feel about this, about the responses we got. Did we get our precinct or didn't we? Why didn't we get it, and what can we do to get it? So with that being said, what I'd like to do, and I will do the next couple of days, is generate a budget response to the mayor's office. I will gladly share it with any members. What I am asking for is, if the chairs, once you receive your needs statement, you want to go up and down the needs statement, you notice 1 or 2 items that did not receive a favorable response, such as, it's been 31 years we were asking for a precinct, why don't we have it yet? This is our chance to do so. So once I share the needs statement with you, chairs, please do get back to me. I will be advocating for the top 3 or 4 items at my discretion in the executive committee. But if there's an item specific that you want us to fight for, that you were not happy with the response, let me know. We have until the 3rd week of February to submit that. I already discussed the Elmhurst mural. I'm going to just very quickly touch on our presenter for tonight. We have 2 of them. We have Marwa Rahi from the CCRB, the Citizens Complaint Review Board. She'll be just doing a quick presentation. And the first presentation rather, is the group that I've been mentioning for a while called Artists Making Changes, also known as AMC for the remainder of this meeting. So I'm not going to say that every single time. AMC is a group that I've been trying to work with for some time now to try to get us some virtual art camps. We've officially, I'm going to say signed off on, but we officially do have several therapeutic virtual art camps coming up in the next couple of weeks. But our presenters will discuss that later on in detail. I'm hoping that everybody here can sign up. All you need is a computer and yourselves. You should be able to sign up for these, but I'm looking forward to that. And finally, please, if you are a board member who has not yet signed up for your renewal, I'm going to read your names. Please understand that if I read your name, that does not mean that you have not yet submitted your application. It just means that you are one of the renewals. And if you have not yet submitted your application, we'll share a link in the chat, or we'll share it to you via email tomorrow at your request. And so I'm going to read off the names, and then I will close it off, and we can keep on moving on the agenda. The names are as follows: Lucy Cerezo Scully, David Chung, Linda Corral, Michelle Dunstan, Ari Espinal, Marilena Giampino, Vinny Laucella, James Lisa, Salvatore Lombardo, Sylvia Martin, Rovinia McGowan, Edgar Moya, Ruby Muhammad, Sandra Munoz, Georgina Oliver, Rupinder Raj, who by the way was voted off tonight, Ashley Reed, Neil Roman, same thing, Christian Romero, Fernando Ruiz was also voted off, Clara Salas, A. Red Sevilla, Gregory Spot, Zeta Valcarcel, and Minwen Yang. So if you heard your name, it does not mean you're off the board. It just means you're up for renewal. And if you have not yet filled out your application to renew, you must do so as the applications are due February 19th. But Kat, if you're up, you can confirm that with me. And with that being said, guys, thanks for everything. As you know, our report is good at tonight. Looking forward to our guest speakers, and thank you everybody for being up here tonight. And we'll talk soon. Thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you, Christian, for that report. I just want to note that Ruby Muhammad, I know when I did attendance, you weren't here, but you're here now. And also you were not able to vote because I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry about that. Ruby, do you want to vote for the removal of the 4 board members?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, what is the question?
Well, first of all, you're marked here, so thank you. And I just wanted to know if you wanted to voice your vote for a yes or no for the removal of the 4 board members. The motion was made earlier and it passed unanimously, but I just wanted to know if you wanted to say yes or no right now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. So we're gonna move on to open session number 1.
Okay, you can sit.
And we're going to call everyone again. So please keep it under 2 minutes. Thank you. I'm going to go with the list that I know that everyone's here. So if someone joins in late, please let us know. Chao Chung Chen.
Yes.
Do you have any comments?
What I want to say. Oh, I think I mentioned about to the police precinct 10. I say build like a 10-story building to accommodate all the police forces. Also, parking problems. We can solve that. Also, we can have the our board office because we got a 10-story building. We got enough space. That's what I mentioned about. I think I quite support 110% looking for the new place to accommodate the whole police officers. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. David Chung.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad everyone is well. Just hoping that we see better days soon.
Thank you, David. Linda Corral.
No comment, thank you.
Michelle Dunstan. I don't think Michelle can she hear us. Okay, we're gonna skip her. Ari Espinal.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Okay, well, let me go on.
Hi, Ari.
Hi, sorry. I just wanted to thank everyone for the new position as chairwoman of the health committee. But as of now, I'll just wait till the report and yeah, nothing else.
Yeah, but let me get the number because I don't have
Thank
the number.
you.
I have to go back.
Kristen Gonzalez.
I would have to go back and get the number.
Okay, no comment.
Thank you.
Huh?
Vincent Lacella, I don't know if he can speak right now.
No, you can use it like this. Okay.
Carol
So
Machinsky.
in other words, I can't hear them on.
I have to say that I'm a little confused. What are we voting on now?
Oh no, we're not voting. This is just our open session for comments.
Okay, so once they close, we're not gonna be able to.
Hold on, Marilyn, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I want to say that's coming from Lou's phone. We hear Ruby Muhammad talking to somebody in the background. So whoever's talking to Ruby, you are unmuted and we're hearing everything. So please, I'm going to say again, if you are not speaking, just mute your phone. It's a big red button, has a microphone on it. Please mute your
Sorry
phone.
about that.
Okay. Is it okay? I can talk now?
Yes, Carol, I'm sorry about that.
All right. I just want to bring to the attention of board members 2 pieces of legislation that are currently in committee in the Assembly, New York State Assembly, that are going to make changes to the public health law, Article 21, Title 8, Section 2180. They're going to add, amended, and it has to do with the coronavirus. Bill number A11172 prohibits mandatory immunization against the coronavirus and gives legal guardians and incapacitated persons the right to choose to vaccinate or not. The second one is more to do with employers given the right to mandate that their employees get vaccinated. It's bill number A11179. And that could be a problem, I would think, for employers and certainly for employees, particularly if the employees don't want to be vaccinated. I would just wanted to bring that to your attention because I don't see anything about these bills being worked on in the news. And I would think that maybe Governor Cuomo would have mentioned something about them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end.
Thank you, Carol, for bringing that up to our attention. Thank you.
May I say something in reference to the...
Oh, Clara, but we're going with alphabetical for open session. I'm sorry. And I just want to note that when we're done, we're going to have a special speaker. I know he's on here, Councilmember Moya. We promised him that as soon as we're done with our board business and he's on, we'll let him go. So just wait a few more minutes. Thank you. Next up is Sunil Mahat.
Hi everyone. First of all, congratulations to the new chairs and wish you the best in the coming days. And beside that, no comments.
Thank you. Patricia Martin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I too want to congratulate the new chairs, and as sorry as I was to see Alexa step down, I do look forward to working with our new chair, Sylvia Martin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say I hope 2021 will be a better year for all of us.
Thank you, Sylvia. Matthew McElroy.
Hi, everybody. Nothing really to say, but hope everybody's well.
Thank you. Does Rovenia have anything to say?
Yes, I do. Hi. I received a telephone call from someone from the Borough Hall regarding whether or not I still wanted to remain on the board, and I said yes. And I was supposed to receive some information. I was wondering if Kristen could follow up for me and find out what's going on because my term is up. Do you think he could do that for me? I'd appreciate it.
Yes, he can follow up. And if you want to request a paper application, I believe we can get that to you. Okay, thank you, Ravenia.
I can hear you.
Mary Elena said that if you want a paper application, they can get that to you.
Yes, that's what I need. Yeah.
Yes, that's
okay. Okay, well, I'll try to work on that ASAP.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Edgar Moya?
So to be very clear, Matt, if you could...
Hi, everyone. I have another comment at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so Marilena, really quickly, while maybe, and again, Kat is over here from the Borough President's Office, or at the very least, a representative to clarify that, but if for any reason a paper copy cannot be sent, she can certainly call in and they will go to each question one by one, because for what it's worth, they are exclusively online, but there might be some wiggle room in there. But we can clarify that, but nonetheless, I will certainly get an application to Ravina by whatever means necessary. Thank you, Ravina.
We can send a snail mail copy of the application, but we really would like to help facilitate members filling it out online. And again, what we were discussing in that meeting earlier on in the evening was we're going to be encouraging members to take some new online trainings. So we want to help you facilitate and maneuver the online world that exists and is kind of part of this new part of the job of being a community board member. If it becomes impossible for you to use internet connectivity, then we can try and bridge that gap. But if we can endeavor to help you use whatever internet you have or find some access to it, we'd really love to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I'll work something out with you, Ruby. No worries. Thanks, Marilyn. Keep it going.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Kirsten. Okay, Ruby Muhammad, any comments? I guess Ruby is not on. We'll skip her. Sandra Munaz, I know she said in the chat she has no comment. So we're on to Gurdeep Singh Narula.
I have no comments.
Thank you. Georgina Oliver?
Just make a statement?
Sure.
Okay, so I want to just congratulate one of our former board members, Helen Ortega. You may not know her, Marilana, who is now the CEO of our Elmhurst Hospital Center. And I think that's wonderful. And on behalf of Community Board 4, Julissa had appointed her as a board member of H+H, and now she has break the ceiling and is the new CEO of Elmhurst, and I congratulate her.
That's wonderful news. Thank you for sharing, Georgina.
And Marilyn, if I can add to that, Georgina, Helen, as a matter of fact, I think Helen is actually in this meeting. So Helen, from all of us to you, congratulations. But Helen is actually likely going to be our guest speaker at next month's meeting. We'd love to get some updates from Elmhurst, so we'll be seeing her soon. Again, congrats on behalf of all of us, Helen.
That's great. Congratulations. Okay, Alexandra Owens.
Hey, no comment.
Thank you. Alexa Ponce.
Hello, I just wanted to say congratulations to all the new chairs. And Sylvia, I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much. I have so much confidence in you and so exciting. That's all.
Thank you. Ashley Reed.
Just want to echo that. Congratulations, Sylvia and Adi. I'm sure you guys are going to be great, and I'm happy that you both were able to step up. Congratulations.
Thank you. Christian Romero.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just congratulations again to the new chairs and to Helen. That's it.
Thank you. Clara Salas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Congratulations to the new chair. And also I wanted to add to what was said about the vaccines. Dr. Fauci said, I think it was yesterday, that those...
Clara, we can't hear you that well. Can you speak a little bit louder, maybe?
Just a moment, please. Can you hear me now?
It's a little better.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Dr. Fauci said yesterday that those that take the vaccine are less protected, more protected from the variants, the new variants that were getting to this country from the United Kingdom, Brazil, and South Africa. Particularly, those that received the second dosage are better protected from the variants.
Okay, thank you, Clara.
Thank you.
If you want to add anything in the chat too, everyone's welcome, of course, to add in the chat. Okay, Lucy Cirillo.
Me? Hear me?
Yes.
I'm being unmuted now. Okay. All right. No comment. Just congratulations to everyone on their new committee as chair. And also congratulations to Helen Landaverdi. She most definitely deserves working at this as a CEO at Elmhurst Hospital. And I have to thank Georgina because she told me all about this about a week ago. So I'm very proud of her, and I think the whole board is too. Thanks again.
Thank you. Red Sevilla.
Yeah. Congrats to the officers. Just want to echo that sentiment. Also, Mary Elena, good to see you chairing this meeting. I can't wait to see you banging on a gavel especially when Lou Walker gets out of line. I'm excited to see that. I do want to just thank Christian and all you guys that put in that work for that mural that's going up. Fantastic progress that I see just as I walk the neighborhood. I just also see a bunch of folks helping the homeless right now who have been displaced from homes or have become unemployed in this pandemic. These encampments in Helmhurst they're pretty intense. And so just seeing a bunch of you guys providing food, even giving some jobs, some shoveling gigs, those were fantastic to hear. And then just lastly, just want to appreciate Alton. Alton, just for you and fighting for banking equity in the neighborhood with ULURP. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Red. Alton Smith, you're next.
Hi, everyone. At this time, there's no comment. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Gregory Spock.
Congrats to the new chairs. I just have two things. One I've already spoken about, and unfortunately it still remains an issue, which is businesses that put signs in their window that still say, you know, no mask are blatantly ignoring those rules. You know, I've told police officers and 311 about these businesses, but if we're gonna be like New Zealand and Australia and get back to real life, you know, everyone has to do their part. So spread the word that you pretty much need to live in your mask, and we'll get through this. And then my second thing is just sort of a precursor to tonight's presentation on the artist making changes, since I was very fortunate to meet Athena at the Flushing Meadows Corona Park Gala. I guess it was 2 years ago now, Christian. Christian was there as well. And hearing about their organization, I'm really excited to have them come to our board and present this evening. And as someone who's very passionate about the arts, I really, you know, feel deeply that I read an article today saying how, you know, sports need to resume and, you know, we need to be putting kids back on the field. And I want people to have the same approach to kids needing to get back into practicing their instruments and, you know, creating art and all the things that are the low-hanging fruit that largely is getting cut from school budgets and getting tossed aside. So definitely listen to what they're saying, and I'm really excited for them tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Dewan Tariq. Okay. Lou Walker. Oh, I'm sorry. Marcello Testis first. Sorry about that. Marcello.
No comment. Just hello, everyone.
Thank you. Lou.
No comment. Hello to everybody. I wish everybody well, and I'll be able to stay on the meeting until 9 p.m. and then I will have to leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Okay, so now we're ready. Councilman Francisco Moya, I know he's been waiting. Thank you for being patient. So you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you so much. Congratulations to all of the new chairs. It's so good to see everyone. I hope that you and your families are all doing well and staying safe. We know we're going through some rough times, but we're going to get out of this if we all do our part. And I know that you have all played an integral role in making sure that the community gets the information that they need, especially when it comes to dealing with COVID, testing, and the vaccines. So I want to thank all of the board members for what they've done to really get the word out and help your fellow neighbors. I want to talk a little bit about the vaccines and sort of testing, what's been going on here for the last couple of months. I have been bringing to the district every single week 2 to 3 testing vans in different parts of the district. There's 2 tests that are being conducted there. The rapid testing, which you can get your results in 15 minutes, and then the traditional test, which actually takes 24 to 48 hours to get. But I wanted to ensure that this was back in December, that we were getting these vans here so that the people in the community, this was the epicenter of the pandemic, that they're going to have access to testing. It's the only way that we can really make sure that we are keeping track of what is actually going on in our community. Right now, in the area codes of 11368, it has gone down significantly. Last week, it was up about 14%. As of today, it's down to 8%. So that means that we're having a real effect in ensuring that folks are getting tested, that they are social distancing, making sure that they wear masks, talking about no large gatherings at homes. Those are key things for us to really hammer away at folks, because if we can bring that back down, these numbers back down, we'll get through this. The vaccine, as we know, has been slow in coming to the community. I've worked with the administration and fought really hard to get the testing sites to come to Citi Field. And tomorrow I will be at Citi Field with the mayor doing a walkthrough to ensure that everything is up to speed, but also was able to get it to some of the clergy. We had the vaccine testing that was done at First Baptist Church in Corona. It's not in CB4, it's right outside of it, but it was a place where we actually could get the testing to be done in our community, which is so critical. But also it's about the education part of this. African American and Latinos and the community has been really skeptical about taking the vaccine. A month ago in January, I did a town hall in Spanish, and we partnered up with Telemundo and Univision to bring to the community an educational component to what this means to take the vaccine. We had experts, doctors from Elmhurst Hospital, representatives of the Department of Health were also present there to take questions from folks. And this Thursday, I really encourage all of you to please join the town hall that I'm going to have at 6:30. And it's going to be with my Ecuadorian sister, who is now the new CEO of Elmhurst Hospital, Helen, who is fantastic and we all love and is very deserving of the position, because she is going to bring in not just her wealth of experience when it comes to healthcare, but her love and her passion for her community, and I'm just so proud of what she's been able to do. We're going to have Dr. Massey, who's the chair of and medical director for the Global Health Institute and the expert for Health and Hospitals Corporation. We're going to have a bunch of other experts as well. You can log on. It's open to everybody. Facebook.com/Francisco Moya NY. Please join us. I know that we're going to put up the flyer in a little bit, but it's good for everyone to come and join, find out what's going on. We are about 800 vaccines that we have this week. Talking with the governor, talking with the mayor today, we're looking to increase that by 5% starting next week. But we need to ensure, and we've got to keep pushing, that the testing facilities and the testing sites that are coming here, that there's a that we're making it a priority so that those that are eligible are getting to register and getting the vaccines from the communities that are hardest hit. We're seeing people come from all over, and we want everyone to get it, but at the same time, there needs to be a priority for the community that really was devastated by this pandemic, and that's why I'm going to be with the mayor tomorrow, walking the streets here to make sure that he's paying attention to what's happening on the ground, and that we're going to have enough vaccines for the community. And you can also, if you don't know, you can also call 877-VAX-4-NYC. That's 1-877-VAX, the number 4 NYC. Or you can go to nyc.gov/vaccine finder to register. And then just a couple of quick reminders. Tax season is coming up. I work with a group called Urban Upbound that prepares taxes for free for the community. Obviously, we can't be doing that in person, but they're going to be doing it remotely or by phone. And so I wanted to give that phone number to folks if they want to get their taxes done for free. It's 718-784-0877. That's 718-784-0877. You dial 1 for English and 2 for Spanish. And also we have CUNY Citizenship Now twice a week. They used to be at my office, but they're still available for anyone who's looking to apply for citizenship, have any questions, immigration issues. We got you covered. Any non-for-profit organizations, the discretionary funding deadline is next Tuesday, the 16th. You still have time to apply. You can go on the portal for the New York City Council. If you're non-for-profit looking to apply, you can do that as well. And lastly, I just want to say that we have seen the amount of food disparity throughout our community and throughout the city for that matter. I fund 5 pantries within the district. I have gotten $25 million that we allocated from the city council to extend the money to our food pantries that have been running dry. We're going to add an additional 25 by the end of this month to ensure that we're getting the food out there. I partnered up with an organization called Hispanic Federation. We put in $50,000. We know that our small businesses and our local restaurants have been impacted the most by this. I partnered up with 5 local restaurants to prepare 500 meals per week to the community. One, that keeps the money in the community. It keeps these businesses open, and it's feeding the very people that live around them. It's a way to keep the economy right here in our community. It's been very, very successful. We've been doing it once a week. We deliver to seniors. We deliver to folks that need hot meals. If you know of anyone that is in need of food or hot meals, please give my office a call, 718-651-1917, 718-651-1917. I also have my staff member, Bernice, who is also on this Zoom. So if anyone has additional questions, want to reach out, she'll be there. And lastly, if you got to see the beautiful Winter Wonderland display that we put up in William F. Moore Park, I invite everyone to stop by. It's a very special Valentine's Day surprise. I have the local artist by the name of Yesenia Calle, who did the Winter Wonderland. She did this. It's a beautiful heart that is lit up in neon colors. It says, from Corona with love. And we want to continue to promote that spirit of kindness and goodness in our district that was ravaged by this pandemic and all of the bad things that have been happening. You know, there is some good that's still out there. And, you know, I want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to go by there, take a picture. It couldn't come at a better time. Valentine's Day is coming. So where's my buddy who is the chair of parks? It's beautifying the parks. We're going to get out there as best as we can and continue to do our part as we move forward. So I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to address you all. And again, I hope that you and your families are all doing well and staying safe. And just wanted to say thank you again. God bless you all. Congratulations to the chairs. If there's any questions, I'm available. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Moya. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. A lot of good information, a lot of nice things that I want to see this heart now. I'm excited. The Winter Wonderland was beautiful, but now I'm looking forward to the heart. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
So I see Bernice, she put a lot of information from Councilman Moya, what he just spoke about in the chat, if anyone's interested. And we're going to go now to our report from the elected officials. We're going to start with Senator Charles E. Schumer.
Marilena,
Oh yeah,
Marilena,
sorry.
if I may, if we're in fact doing the open session, and this is where if anybody would speak from the public, such as John in this case would be, but I also want to emphasize that Assemblywoman Jessica Gonzalez is with us physically present. So when you do call for the elected officials, just be sure she goes first, and any other elected officials are physically here. But John does have the floor now, as per our agenda, followed by the Assemblywoman. Thanks.
So John is here.
Correct.
Okay. All
If
right.
he's not,
Thank
then
you.
you got
So
it.
this is John Wang. He's actually sorry, because he's part of the open session. He's the director of the Queens Night Market. John. Is he on the phone by any chance?
Maybe not. I mean, all right. You know what? Then proceed, and I'll text them to let them know.
Okay.
That
All right. No problem.
we were just speaking a few minutes ago. But go for it. You can go with
So
the
for okay, yeah, just let me know. For elected officials, Christian just told me that Jessica Gonzalez Rojas is here. She's New York State Assembly woman. Is she on the phone or on? Oh, there you are. Hello.
On video. Hi, Chairwoman. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. For those of you that don't know me, I only started about a month ago, so I am brand new to the New York State Assembly. My name is Jessica Gonzalez Rojas. I use she, her, ella pronouns. I represent the 34th Assembly District, which just has a little bit of CB4, but I'm here nonetheless to hear the concerns of the community and also share some information. So I was on last time, but I do want to repeat just some information so everyone has it. We are we have an office, it's up and running. We are discouraging folks from walking in because we want to, protect our due to COVID, but certainly if we're happy to make an appointment, we could do a video appointment, a phone call. If it's urgent that we need to meet with someone in person, we'll set that up in a safe way. But just so folks know, we're in the Jackson Heights Shopping Center, which ironically is in East Elmhurst. It's 75-35 31st Avenue in Suite 206B. Our phone number is 718-457-0384, and my colleague Shamima will be sharing this in the chat, so you don't have to write it down. My email is Gonzalez Rojas, Gonzalez, ROJESJ @nyassembly.gov. We speak English, Spanish, Spanglish, and Bengali in our office, and if there's other language needs, we can certainly accommodate for that. I also want to congratulate my dear friend, Helen Ortega, who is the CEO of Elmhurst Hospital. She's been a wonderful community leader, and I am like over the moon that she has this position, and we are in such wonderful hands at Elmhurst. A couple announcements I want to share. The COVID-19 hardship forms for folks facing foreclosures or evictions is available online, and it allows for folks to prevent being evicted or face a foreclosure until at least May 1st. So if you are facing any challenges, please feel free to call our office. Shamima will put the form in the chat as well. It's pretty simple, but again, we're happy to assist. This Thursday, February 11th, we're hosting a self-swab event, COVID testing in our office in partnership with the New York City Health and Hospital Corporation, as well as the borough president. Again, our office is 75-35 31st Avenue. The self-swab means that you come, they take information, they hand you a kit, they can explain how to take the test. I actually did it myself today. And then they send the kit out to a lab, and then you'll get your information online. And it'll take a couple days, but it's a free and pretty efficient way to get your information. I also want to share that Queens Small Business Grants are available through the New York City Economic Development Corporation in partnership with the Queens Chamber of Commerce. They're offering grants to businesses with 20 or fewer employees in the neighborhoods hardest hit. So Shamima will also share the link to that form, and it's available at our office as well. The Paycheck Protection Program will resume, and people have until March 31st to secure a loan. So please make sure you catch that deadline in order to secure a loan. We are continuing the popular event of paper shredding. We heard loud and clear from constituents that they really that program. It's basically where we get a big truck and you could bring documents that are, have financial information or your data, and you don't want to just throw it in the recycling bin. You want to make sure it's shredded in a secure way. So we're hosting our first event in this Jackson Heights Shopping Center. We plan to actually have different events throughout the district. So we'll make sure to be in Corona, in Jackson Heights, and in Woodside, as well as East Elmhurst. But if you can get to East Elmhurst, it's Saturday, February 13th from 10 to 2 p.m., 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the Jackson Heights Shopping Center. Bring all your paper, it's rain or shine, and we'll make sure it gets in that big truck and gets shredded and your information is safe. So I hit the ground running. I'm already co-sponsoring 19 bills at the beginning of session. The bills are related to housing, to healthcare, to criminal justice, COVID-related relief, partner on a co-sponsor of the New York Health Act. We recently passed the COVID-19 Emergency Protect Small Business Act to help small businesses from facing evictions and foreclosures. So I'm super honored and excited to, hit the ground running. And I wanted to introduce folks to Shamima Rahman, who will be the liaison to Community Board 4. So she's in the chat sharing some information. And again, I'm very honored to be here, and it's great to see everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. Thank you. And everyone, there is information in the chat from Shamima if you're interested. Okay, so now we're going to go down the legislative list, sorry. Senator Charles E. Schumer. Okay. Kirsten Gillibrand, anyone here from her office? No. Okay. House of Representative Grace Meng. Christian, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair. Thank you. It's good. It's good to see everybody. I miss seeing everybody in person. I miss dressing up for our meetings, but it's good to see everybody. It's good to see your faces, even if it's virtually. Just a couple of updates on behalf of the Congresswoman. Recently, as the councilman briefly touched on in regards to the vaccine, there's been a lot of questions about racial inequalities happening with the vaccine distribution. So the Congresswoman actually led her colleagues in urging the Health and Human Services Secretary, a designate, Becerra, to address demographic data on COVID-19. So what they're calling for is a national data breakdown of race, ethnicity, gender, disability, and if available, sexual orientation, and to make this data public. And this is going to be really important because it'll help address long-term health disparities and racial inequalities that we might see in the months and I'm sure years to come. Another thing, since the 117th Congress has kicked off, the Congresswoman introduced legislation for the National Office of New Americans Act. So what this bill would do is create an office within the executive office of the president to coordinate with federal, state, and local efforts to help immigrants and refugees adapt to life in the United States. So some of the things this office would do is help with language access, job placement, civic engagement. And since she was in the New York State Assembly, her dream, the Congresswoman's dream, was to create an office like this. And now that she's in Congress, she can push forward this bill so that it can become a reality. So she was very happy to introduce this at the federal level. And just last, but definitely not least, with the 117th congressional House appointment, there is new chairs, new positions, new committees, and the Congresswoman sits on a few important, all of them are very important committees. One of them that I wanted to highlight is the Agriculture Committee. And why is this committee so important? It's important because the Agriculture Appropriations Subcommittee fights for key programs that we use in our community here locally, sort of like WIC and SNAP, a lot of these programs used by Queens and New York families. And since the beginning of the pandemic, the Congresswoman has recognized the critical need to address food insecurity in COVID-19. So she'll be tackling all of these things with her new committee assignments. She's excited, and she wants to again ask me to thank all of you for reaching out to her last month and asking if she was okay after everything that happened. We really appreciate you reaching out. I gave everybody my number, but if you don't have it, again, it's 202-420-8819. If you ever need to reach me directly, I'll put it in the chat, but thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Christian. From Congresswoman's office, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Hernandez with the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. Thank you for having me this evening. We just finished hosting our monthly virtual town hall. It was this evening. So if you didn't have a chance to see it, because of course, you are on this meeting, I will share a link to our YouTube page where you can find a follow-up to the meeting. So today, the Congresswoman joined representatives from the city and the state to discuss the COVID-19 vaccine and their rollout. So my understanding was it was quite an informative town hall. So I'll go ahead and again share that YouTube link so you all can see it. And for legislative updates, at the end of January, the Congresswoman, along with Representative Bowman, led a 52 House member letter asking HUD and the Treasury to repeal a Trump-era guideline that is delaying emergency rental assistance. And quite importantly, the FEMA funeral assistance relief legislation that the Congresswoman has been championing for several months alongside Senator Majority Leader Schumer and Representative Lee will soon be available. So if you lost a loved one or know someone who lost a loved one due to COVID-19, you will soon be able to get reimbursed up to $7,000 for the expenses of laying your loved one. This program is retroactive and will be reimbursed all the way back to January 2020. So some things that you should keep in mind is that FEMA will need expense documentation. This includes receipts, invoices, death certificate, documents for caller ID. This program will be available for people and families that are undocumented or mixed status. And the Congresswoman also wanted to recognize some local Queens community groups that she worked with to form this legislation, including Elm Corps and Voces Latinas. I'll include a fact sheet link on the chat box. And two community updates. First, our office is hosting a Wounded Warrior Fellow. So we're currently looking to hire. This is a fellowship program for a veteran, and it's a 2-year position. I will share a link to our website with the job position. If you know anyone, please share, or if you yourself are a veteran that qualifies, please apply. And the last item is that our office is participating in the Congressional Art Competition. This is a nationwide competition hosted by the Congressional Art Institute, and it's a collaboration with art teachers across our district. So high schoolers will submit their entries to our office, and a panel will select the winner. So if you know any high school students that enjoy the arts, I will share my colleague's email so that you can coordinate with our office and engaging, the student, or also if you know a art teacher within the district, or you yourself are, again, you can connect with my colleague Destiny around this opportunity. And we're always assisting. I'll include how you can get in contact with us in the chat box. And that's all for me. Have a good evening.
Thank you. From New York State Assembly, Brian Barwell. No. From Assemblyman's Office, Jeffrey on Aubrey.
No reports.
Thank you. From Assemblywoman's Office, Catalina Cruz.
I'm here. So Assemblymember Cruz was recently appointed by Speaker Hasty to the task force, to be the chair of the task force of the New Americans. The whole goal of the task force is to advocate for policies and legislation that provide equity to immigrants living in New York State. As you guys know, the district is very diverse. 60% of the district is foreign born, 40 of which are without status, meaning they're either TPS or undocumented or similar status. So we have very intimate knowledge of why this task force is very important and ways to resolve some of the issues. We have a couple upcoming events and educational programming, and we'll try to send out the information as soon as we have dates set for that. Then another event that we've been hosting for the past month has been COVID testing. We've been hosting it every Thursday right out of our office. It says we're partnering with Test and Trace and Health and Hospitals, and it's a self-swab. So far, we do about 60 to 70 tests a day, and it's been like an incredible resource that these partners have provided, and a much-needed resource for the district. Last week, we hosted our first State of the District, where the assembly members spoke about our past victories over the past 2 years and where we're going to be taking the district. The week before, we held a town hall on the eviction moratorium, which will be coming up on May 1st, and how to protect yourself and know what the steps are to try to prevent eviction and try to stay in your home. The Assemblywoman sends her regards. If you have any questions or need an appointment, we're taking appointments only. Please call our office, 718-458-5367. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. From New York State Senator's office, Michael Gianaris. No one's here. Senator Jessica Ramos. Okay, anyone here from the office of Senator Tobias Savitsky? No. Okay, New York City Mayor's office, Jessica Shabowski.
Hi, I'm here. So
Hi,
I just want to
Jessica.
highlight a few quick things. One, we're opening the City Field site tomorrow. That will have appointments, 50% of which will be for TLC licensed drivers and food delivery workers from all over the 5 boroughs, and then 50% of appointments will be for eligible Queen residents. We are going to continue building out capacity, not only in Queens, but all over the city, but we desperately need supply. So we continue to advocate for the federal government to really rev up production, and we're really working with the state to make sure that we get an increased allocation as the vaccine supply increases. Elmhurst and Corona have been added to the list of 33 neighborhoods identified by the Task Force of Racial Inclusion and Equity. The city is going to use this data to broaden its outreach and education to address vaccine hesitancy, prioritize appointments, and add new vaccine sites as seen with the City Field site, which we eventually hope to just be a long-term 24/7 location. We are also opening up middle schools starting February 25th. We've been working to build out testing capacity for this increased set of students that will be tested weekly at 20% of students. So that will be grade 6 to 8 coming back to in-school learning if they had signed up for in-person education when there was that last window in the fall. And lastly, I just wanted to highlight from the mayor's state of the city that starting, I think it's this year, precinct councils will be able to perform evaluations of commanding officers' performances and also help select precinct commanders from the start, providing an advisory opinion to precinct commanders. And so I encourage folks to get civically involved on that end as well. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Jessica. So we already heard from Councilman Francisco Moya. There's stuff in the chat as well. And next up is Councilmember Daniel Drum. Anyone here from his office?
Yes. Hi. Hi, everyone. This is Kelly from Councilmember Daniel Drum's office. Good evening. Not so much, but there's an upcoming food distribution at Amherst Hospital. There will be 3 days on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, February 17, 18, and 19. The times for February 17 is 2 p.m. To 5 p.m. and for Thursday is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's the same time for Friday. There will be a link to our RSVP, and I will post that on the chat later. Next, just want to remind that our office continue to provide legal service for housing and journal and immigrations. It's a 30-minute free consultation. If anyone needs an appointment, just feel free to reach out. Our office phone number is 718-803-6373. And our office continue to work remotely. If you guys have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out. And I'll just leave a message at the voicemail, and someone from our office will get back to you as soon as possible. So that's it for me for tonight. If you guys have any question, I will be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. You can always put your info in the chat for us. Thank you.
Yes, will do. Thank you.
And Alexandra, she just told me that Mary Jobada is here on behalf of Senator Jessica Ramos. Is Mary on? Mary?
Hey, good evening. Thank you so much and congratulations to the new committee. This is my first time with you. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of State Senator Jessica Ramos' office. We are still working remotely, and the senator has held a lot of town halls in January and February, with the one for East Almost this evening. And at this point, we do not have any upcoming events to announce, but please, I will ask all of you to stay tuned and to follow Senator's official social media to know the upcoming events. And also, you can call us at 718-205-3881. And I'm going to post my email address in the chat so that you can contact our office. We're going to be happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. I know Kat Bressler is here from Queensborough President Donovan Richards' office. Kat?
Hi. I'm not going to turn on my video because I'm wearing a comfy house clothing, and I hope you all understand. I want to just remind everybody, you've heard it 1,000 times, the application deadline is February 19th. I'll follow up with the link in the chat. Small business grants are available, also link in chat. And City Field vaccines, I'm going to put the link for the follow-up on that. And maybe my email just for fun. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you so much. I think James is here from New York City Controller's Office, Scott Stringer.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, James here from Comptroller Stringer's office. I have a few announcements for today. The first is one that I always start with. We continue to put out our New York by the Numbers weekly and economic fiscal outlook newsletter that comes out every Monday. We just released one yesterday. So if you want to know about the finances of the city and what's going on during the pandemic, please subscribe to that. If you don't want to subscribe, please check the link. I'll drop it into the chat in a moment. Next thing I want to talk about is the Fair Shot Vaccine Equity Plan that our office put out, because we've noticed we had some concerns with the way certain data was being tracked, and it's been brought up by multiple other elected officials or reps of elected officials on this chat. So we'd like the city to track things like the zip code, the race, the age, and the profession of people, which a lot of that is being done now. So we're happy about that, and we want to have, we like the idea of having more restrictions on who can get the vaccine in the sense of where they actually are living. So, you know, there was a big issue in Washington Heights, many people coming from Westchester and getting vaccinations, while the people who lived in Upper Manhattan were having trouble getting the vaccination. So I know some of that. We have some remedies already in place with the Yankee Stadium site just for Bronx residents and the Citi Field site prioritizing Queens residents. So we're liking what we see there. So I'll put that report in the chat as well if you want to look at it. We also have just put out a plan for PPP distribution. This was also mentioned previously. This is the payroll protection plan from the federal government. So we think the city can do a better job with doing outreach, especially outreach to people who maybe speak English or maybe don't speak English very well, who own businesses but don't know a lot of the technical language or can't read the technical language as well. So it's harder for them to fill out some of these more complicated forms that use a lot of legal terms. So we think the city can be doing better outreach there, with, you know, in terms of offering more support for people who speak languages other than English, and even languages other than English and Spanish. And we also hope that the city can create a comprehensive list of the financial institutions that are administering the PPP, because as far as we could tell, at least when we released the plan, that didn't exist. And lastly, we also we'd like the city to help some of the nonprofits who incurred a lot of costs during this pandemic, being at the front lines, really helping with food relief and things like that. There's the indirect cost rate that has not been covered. It was, I believe, initially supposed to be covered in the budget, but was taken away due to, I think, cost concerns. So we're asking for the city to see if they can help nonprofits with some of those costs that were accumulated during the time that they were doing a lot of the outreach to really help people on the streets. So I'm going to put that in the chat now, so you can check out all the links there. And two new reports just came out. One is the blueprint for strengthening public safety. We just put out a report. It has 5 major tenets. This is related to the NYPD primarily. So the plan we just put out has to do with what to do with the finances of the city and also just public safety in general. So the first part is we believe the city should take more of a multi-agency public health focused approach to community safety. So that would be transitioning certain responsibilities away from the NYPD and investigating and alternative responses and services. So the administration has already shown that they're doing this in some ways with the street vendors not being policed by the NYPD. But we have other issues like homelessness, issues like people who have other emotional issues, addiction issues, and we feel like there are other responses rather than the NYPD that might be better suited for tackling those issues. So that would involve a reorganization of the response to things that are perceived as crimes. Also, we do realize that there's an issue, especially with an uptick in gun violence in the city, and we have some suggestions of ways that that might be able to be helped with some more proactive community strategies, and also ways to help the NYPD deal with some of these issues. Since though I think the overall crime rate had a small dip, the crimes related to murder, shootings, number of people shot, those things went up by a lot. And then the third part is to improve discipline, transparency, and civilian oversight of the NYPD. The fourth part is to decriminalize certain offenses. And the fifth part is to initiate operational and managerial reforms. So you can
James,
check out.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but would you be able to put any of that in the chat for us?
Yeah, I'll put the newsroom press release for it. And I can put the full report as well, which is 46 pages. So if you're interested in that, please take a look. I just want to say one quick thing about one of the financial components. The NYPD is an agency that gets a lot of claims filed against it for by like the citizens saying that their rights were violated and so on. And there's a lot of money that the city has to pay out because of police misconduct every year. And we just have a similar problem with New York City Health and Hospitals. I mean, we still have a problem with New York City Health and Hospitals with medical malpractice, but some reforms were instituted there, and we see that there are ways that similar reforms can be instituted towards the NYPD to help cut some of the costs down and get the number of claims down. So if you're interested in that, please check it. It's in the chat. I'll also put a food plan that we just released as well for helping with food insecurity.
Okay, thank you so much, James. And last, New York City Public Advocate Jamani Williams. Okay. So Christian, we're on to the next thing, the presentations.
Sorry, Marilena, you forgot Elizabeth from the DA's office.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, that wasn't on my list. Okay, Elizabeth.
Good evening, board members, and it's great to see everyone virtually. And I just want to have some quick announcements. So at the end of January, DA's office held a webinar on human trafficking awareness. So we have several experts from this office, as well as partner services providers, spoke about available resources for victims of sex and labor trafficking in Queens County. So as always, if you know anyone who are the victims, or would like to report the suspicious activity, please contact our office, the Human Trafficking Bureau, by calling 718-286-6548. And also next Thursday, DA is gonna celebrate the Lunar New Year with honorees and special performance. If you have interest, please register with our website, www.queensda.org. Thank you.
Thank you. Christian, can you, who's here for presenting? Because you said someone couldn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going in order, AMC is up first. Christina will handle like giving up speakers' rights and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Artists Making Changes is actually here.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
actually
perfect.
we have a few of them. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Gavin Simmons and Athena Castillo.
Correct. Yeah, we have Gavin, and we actually have, and I don't want to mispronounce the name, but we have actually no, I think he might have stepped out. So yeah, it's there goes Gavin. So Gavin is on screen. Athena is in there someplace. Gavin, we'll give you screen sharing capabilities, and the floor is yours in about just a minute. So Athena, if you can take over.
If I can actually get your ability, that would be great. And we also have Zoe, I believe. So hopefully he's able to unmute himself.
Okay. Yeah, Christina's gonna work with you on that. Just give us 10 seconds.
Okay, so is Gavin getting presenter or Athena?
Athena.
Okay, hold on.
Speaking in third person. Hi.
Okay, you should have it now.
Thank you.
No problem.
I want to say thank you guys for having us. It's been really great watching your process and hearing all the things you guys are working on. We're excited to be a part of the move forward and sustaining uplifting, positive vibes and moods through this quarantine. I know it's been a long a long day for some. I hope you guys have the energy to listen and take it all in as we move forward through our hopefully speedy presentation. We try to pare it down. Usually the presentation is a little bit longer, but we are just making changes. And
we see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So we're going to try to make this as fast as possible because of time. There are a lot of visuals, so I think that would give you guys maybe a little break, at least in that department. So Artists Making Changes started in 2013. We're a nonprofit organization that works with a population that has been exposed with adverse life experiences. So we're just going to present rather quickly. Gavin's going to go over the slides. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us. We will also make this slide and other information available to you. So don't feel that if you didn't gather some information and we went too quickly, that you won't have time to look at this at your own pace, okay?
So Artists Making Changes Foundations fosters creative and intellectual development. Ooh, zooming in. Okay. For underserved communities and populations, all populations should have the opportunity to explore their own artistic vision and cultural expression. And I know you guys at Corona Elmhurst have a lot of different cultural expressions. So through the art of creation, we would like to connect to the self. The self is you, the individual, and these individual identities that you guys cultivate, as we cultivate, grow and change at every stage of life. So we, as a nonprofit, like to examine those different nonverbal communications that you guys have internally, and help heal intergenerational trauma through nonverbal language development, or as another way of looking at it, a process of understanding your own internal dialectic or your internal thought process to help you ground yourself, heal from past victimizations or adverse life experiences through art. And that's something that we definitely focus on through our programming, is making sure that our participants understand that through art, you can find language for experiences that wouldn't necessarily have language. Nonverbal communication through the arts, whether it be dance, painting, sculpture, any active educational, music, these tools, they all help you develop a greater sense of self. And through that sense of self, you're able to uplift and have more energy to face the day, to overcome challenges, to connect with your fellow community members. And I know that through COVID, we've definitely lost a lot of that person-to-person connection, or that ability to decompress throughout your day or from your day by having a person-to-person interaction. So something that I've used and utilized through this time has been art. And I'm a painter, I'm a dancer. And so through those tools, I'm able to reconnect with the internal elements that I have to face the next day, and to face the coming days that we hopefully will be able to continue to be prosperous members of society, and rethink and be very innovative with our approaches to what post-COVID looks like, and how present COVID is affecting us. Want to go to the next slide, Athena?
Did you want to talk a little bit about this?
Well, yeah, so we have, as you can see, a list of programs and classes and camps that we provide. This is something that we're working with right now with you guys and developing what is the most feasible and the most attractive to the community. So we're going with I think we've settled on the materials now. It's going to be a painting course taught by me and Athena. And we're still hashing out the details of what we will be constructing or what we'll be creating. If it's going to be more free flowing, or if it's going to be a little bit more structured in terms of the step-by-step process to generate a painting. And then we also have a dance class or a movement class that we're going to be working on. And Zoj, I don't know if he's actually able to speak, but he is here on the call, so he's aware of what's going on. He will be providing that movement class. So if you're less of a visual artist, you feel like you're more of a mover, we also have that as well coming up down the pipeline. And I believe the dance class is on the 13th of this month, and the painting class is on the 27th. So those will be offered at 5 p.m. And again, we have a flyer going out that Christian will be providing to all of you guys with further details and ways of registering for that class and those classes and those workshops. So client information is something that we focus on, gaining a history, gaining a socioeconomic status, cultural upbringings. All these things play into how you develop and understand your own internal trauma, and ways of moving out of it. So these are some areas that we commonly encounter and most frequently come up when we're building a profile for our clients. I don't want to go through them and think that you identified with them now, because self-identification or self-diagnosing is a problem that we all do, and we shouldn't do that. I personally am not necessarily a therapist. That's more of Athena's transaction and some of our other therapists that we work with. But yeah, okay, we're gonna move on. So we have a diverse educational background. We come from a lot of different forms and artistic trainings. We have our dancers and our actors and stuff. They've performed and worked with a lot of different notable artists. And then we have the hospitals that we've partnered with and we've learned and trained under as well. So we are pretty versed within the tri-state area of what it looks like to be on the multifaceted levels of what we do at AMC. Next slide. So in the US, some of our programs that we've done before COVID, you'll see our lovely kids and some of the activities that they've worked through. So Athena, if you want, you can probably take over too,
Sure.
and just kind of talk us through some of these.
Of course. So the cool thing about AMC, Artists Making Changes, is the fact that we're a large group. And as Gavin was explaining before, we're a group of healers, therapists, social workers, artists in every capacity. So it's really nice that we're able to come together and make these lesson plans with a therapeutic background, right? Which I think is the important part, is that we're really looking at the population and their needs, and then creating lesson plans with expression, either it being in a physical form like you're seeing now, or in a fine art form, or many others. So we're taking all of these things into account when we're looking at certain populations. So that's some of the work in the US. This is some of the work that we've done in Cuba. So just so you guys can take a little break, some cute kids, as well as some of the work that we've done in Dominican Republic.
I think we should also touch on the fact too that we are witnessing here now very much what it looks like to have limited access to resources. And I think some of the work that we've done abroad has definitely prepared us as a non-for-profit to foster and facilitate a lot of those material needs. So we're very much interested in also partnering and finding out what the community has available to them, and being innovative with the expression that the art takes, or your art will take as a community, as a population.
Correct. And then just to touch on the virtual classes, which is what will be really important for all of us to work together currently. We did 6 virtual classes, and just to name 3 of them, we had a cooking class, which was really nice. We have also artists that work with AMC from different countries. So these children were able to cook with a chef from St. Croix. These children were able to meditate with someone that was overseas. So it gives us a really nice pool to pick out of to better serve our community, as well as obviously artists and healers from our community. So we like to, as you saw, and Gavin shared before, for the classes that we are going to be doing, we always partner up with 2 artists or healers, because we just want to make sure that every child or every individual is really being seen. So we think that 4 eyes is obviously better than 2. Here you're seeing the cooking class that was specifically for children that had sensory processing disorders. And then some more cooking class. We had a boys group that Gavin actually led, that was speaking about, it was a boys group of boys of color, speaking about the climate now and how they're being seen, and giving them an opportunity to express themselves through drama as well as meditation. And then there was also a girls group that I think you can see right here on the top. They got to make dolls and express what they feel like going through the transitions of puberty through a third person object, such as a doll. So instead of having to express these things in a form of I feel this way, they were able to express it as their doll. So it was an easier way of them communicating their feelings at a very difficult time for all children. So here's just a really quick overview of what our lesson plans look like. So this was the one for the girls group. So I just want to show it really quickly. Again, you guys are going to get all of this and you can read it through, but this is how specific and this one was a 4-page one, our lesson plans are, and our goals, just so you can see. Something else that AMC does is that we do galas, art shows, different fundraising events in order to be able to give back to the community. So here are just some photos of our experiences that we have had, other ways that we have fundraised, and then us being able to give back to the community here in Cuba, in Dominican Republic, and other visiting countries. Gavin?
Yeah, if you go back to that previous slide before, that was actually the commitment march that just happened, and we fundraised to get just food, to have food to provide for the protesters. So it was 4 of us. We went down. It was me, Athena, Zoje, and Adonis was one of our teen volunteers. We went down to Washington and we gave out snacks and food and kept people hydrated while it was so hot down there. So that was another kind of element that we're kind of trying to expand upon, is what does it look like to have a political representation or a connection to the present time right now. And then so the goal is, as we've stated before, is to value the individual, make sure that they're understood and we can meet them where they are. And meeting somebody where they are depends, I think, on the person and what they bring to the creative process in any of our avenues or our facets of communication. So that, I think, wraps up where we are right now. And then this is the flyer for the upcoming classes that we have already scheduled.
And Zoje, are you there? Are you able to speak? Is able to be unmuted.
Maybe not. It's
okay. Well, the classes surround COVID and the experiences that families have had. I mean, their entire family dynamic has changed. Mothers and fathers have become not only working at home, but also teachers to their children.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hi,
Sorry.
Zoje. Hey.
I just got unmuted, so.
Okay, perfect. So these are 2 classes that we'll be having, 2 of many, hopefully. And they're both speaking about COVID and feeling isolated and kind of just having a very difficult time to connect the way that we're used to. So if Gavin and Zoje, especially Zoje, if you want to jump in and kind of just share a little bit of your class, that would be great so we can wrap up.
Sure, yeah. So kind of the intention of the dance class is to have a movement exploration that kind of encourages youth to discover different ways that they can both stay active and use dance as a form of therapy while they're in isolation. A lot of us, are living in confined spaces in New York City and being disconnected from going to school regularly and participating in different activities. Like a lot of youth is missing out on a lot of physicality that they would normally have as a part of their daily routine when we're not in this time. So the purpose is to really just encourage the youth to put together a routine for moving while at home and to kind of give them an example of different things that they can do to move and to develop routines that are based in physicality and dance.
Yeah, and it helps with the endorphins. Get the endorphins up, and you naturally feel better, and you can focus, and you can feel like you can overcome what challenges may arise during that day, or for the week, or the next month, or what you have coming forward.
Thank you, guys. Does anyone have any questions for us?
Right now, I don't think we're going to be taking any questions, but I know we're going to share the flyers with the whole board. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Wonderful work, guys. Thank you.
So, Marilena, if I may, can I just jump in real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, so to be very clear to everybody, the way we are going to do this, I will share, there is a link that I'll share the flyer with everybody over on the side. And by the way, thanks for your presentation, guys. I expected no less. But I will share the flyer with everybody as well as a full copy of the presentation that was discussed that we saw tonight. To be very clear, there are 2 workshops. The first one is a dance workshop that's coming up in the next week or so. The following is, like as they said, a paint class. But community board will be the one providing the supplies. So we'll set it up so that you can either visit the board office to pick up the supplies or just purchase them on your own, or we're actually working with a local art store in Jackson Heights. That is, we're trying to get maybe discount if you decide to purchase the items from them instead. So you have 3 options. You can either get the supplies yourself, get it from the board office, or purchase from an art store, which I'm still working on. But we'll share all.
Okay, thank you so much, Christian. Okay, so the next presentation, it's going to be New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board, Maru Rigi.
Could everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi, good evening. My name is Marwa and I'm from the Civilian Complaint Review Board. Let me just share my screen. Oh, is it currently showing?
No, right now we don't see anything.
Okay. Okay, could everyone see the presentation?
Yes, you're on. It's perfect.
Okay, hi. So this is just because of time, I'm gonna just go through this very quickly. So the Civilian Complaint Review Board is a city government agency that investigates, mediates, and administratively prosecutes allegations of police misconduct. We are entirely independent from the NYPD, and we are staffed by all civilians. What the forms of okay, so we base all of our investigations off of the patrol guide. This is where all police officers get the rules and regulations that they have to follow. So when that's outside of these rules and regulations is when they may be engaging in misconduct. So there's 4 categories of police misconduct that we investigate. It's force, abuse of authority, discourtesy, and offensive language. Force is if an officer uses excessive or unnecessary force, whether it's punching a person, using weapons like their nightsticks, taser, batons, using their firearm, even just taking their gun out and pointing it at someone can fall under this category. It could be excessive or unnecessary in certain situations. So yeah, any form of force that's used against a civilian. Secondly, abuse of authority. This is when they misrepresent their power or influence in order to gain your compliance. So some examples of abuse of authority include an officer stop, question, and frisking someone, or stopping their vehicles without sufficient cause, searching a person's car or their home without sufficient cause, refusing to identify themselves to a person. So that includes covering their badge, refusing to give their name, refusing to tell the person which precinct they're from. So yeah, those are just examples of abuse of authority. Discourtesy is if an officer is acting or speaking to somebody in a rude, discourteous manner. We know that, they're supposed to engage in CPR, so that's interacting with people, with respect, with professionalism and courtesy. It's when they're not doing those things, doing the complete opposite of that is when it falls under discourtesy. So using any kind of profanity when they speak to people, any discourteous conduct, like for example, if I give an officer my ID and when they give it back to me, instead of putting it in my hand, let's say they toss it on the floor and expect me to pick it up, that's discourteous, right? So yeah, any hand gestures that are meant to imply like a cuss word, like giving the finger to somebody, those all fall under discourtesy. Lastly, we have offensive language. So this is very different than use of profanity. This is any type of verbally offensive speech that inappropriately refers to race, religion, sexual orientation, perceived disability, nationality. Even telling a person to go back to their country is also considered offensive language. So in addition to investigating those 4 categories of misconduct, we also investigate if the Right to Know Act has been violated. So the Right to Know Act was a law that was passed in 2018. The 4 major components of the Right to Know Act include an officer identifying themselves to any civilian. That includes providing their name, their rank, whatever precinct they're from, their shield number, identifying information like that, explaining the purpose of the interaction, right? A person has a right to know why they've been stopped by an officer. And if they want to search you or search your car, search your home, anything that's your property, if they want to search it without any type of sufficient cause, they need to ask for your consent and remind you that you have the right to say no. Also, officers, all NYPD officers carry business cards with them. This is how the card looks. Anyone has the right to ask for this card and they should provide you with that card. This is what it looks like, the front and the back. So yeah, you do have the right to request that. And one more component of the Right to Know Act that I want to share, just to make clear, people have the right to language access services. So if an officer is interacting with you and you don't speak English, they should provide those services, because a person should know what's going on, what was the purpose of this interaction, why they may be be detained, right? So that also includes if a person is deaf and needs sign language interpretation, same thing. They have everyone has the right to language access services. Now, if a person has experienced any of the forms of misconduct that I have just described, or if they witness any of this misconduct, you can file a complaint with the CCRB. Those three those are the ways you can file a complaint. You can call our hotline during business hours. Outside of business hours, you can call 311. You can file a complaint on our website. You can mail a complaint into our office. And of course, you can also file complaints in person, whether it's at your local council member's office, your local police precinct, or visiting us at our office. But with COVID, you may want to exercise any of those other options that we offer. So also, it has been now the CCRB can take complaints about police misconduct from third parties, meaning if you see a video of police misconduct on, let's say you're scrolling on Twitter, you see a video or on Instagram, Facebook, and you don't know who those people are in the video, you don't know who the officers are, you can still submit that to the CCRB and we can investigate that complaint. We can investigate, we can track down who are those people in the video, are they NYPD officers, so on and so forth. So anyone can file a complaint, even if you're not there when it happens. As long as you see a video footage, you could submit that as well. Really quickly about intake, what happens is so the CCRB can only investigate complaints of misconduct against NYPD officers. So we cannot investigate any other type of law enforcement. However, if somebody wants to file a complaint against, let's say, for example, Port Authority or a state trooper, any person that's part of law enforcement that's not NYPD, you can still submit that complaint to us. And instead of us investigating it, we will transfer your complaint over to whichever agency can investigate it for you. We will let you know. The option of mediation, before we conduct an investigation, if your complaint had nothing to do with force or any type of sexual misconduct, we may offer you mediation. And this is when you and the officers or officers involved can sit down together in the presence of a third party mediator and just talk about what happened. You could tell your side, the officer will talk about their side of the story, and just the purpose is to just talk it out and explain your feelings. And we do have a high success rate for mediation, because sometimes people just want to hear apology, right? They don't need to go through the whole long process of investigation. If the officer just said like a cuss word to them or something like that, like, you do have that option. However, if a person is not satisfied with mediation, we then proceed with a full investigation. But if a person is satisfied with mediation, the case is then closed, and it does not stay on the record of the officer. So let's say if a person did not like mediation or they didn't want to pursue mediation, and we have gone through a full investigation, we have subpoena power, so we can subpoena any type of evidence that may be related to your case. So of course, we interview any witnesses that we can, any witnesses, any officers that were involved. We can obtain any type of video evidence. Any NYPD documents, any notes, any form of evidence that pertains to your case, we can obtain it for your complaint. And of course, officers who are who have to be part of this investigation must cooperate. It's not optional; it's mandatory, and they are required to give sworn statements. So these are the 4 outcomes to an investigation. I know that we're like running out of time, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but essentially, again, we weigh all of the evidence against the patrol guide to determine if misconduct occurred or not. So it could be that the officer did not engage in misconduct, they were just doing their job. So that would be considered exonerated. Unfounded means there's clear evidence proving they did not commit the misconduct that was alleged. Unsubstantiated is when there's not enough evidence to prove that the officer engaged in the misconduct alleged. And then, of course, substantiated is when there is enough credible evidence to prove the officer has, in fact, engaged in misconduct. For more serious forms of misconduct, it can go to an administrative trial. And of course, those are public, take place at NYPD headquarters. They are, officers can be subjected to cross-examination. And the penalties that could there, so something that the CCRB does is make recommendations of discipline against officers that engage in misconduct. So that would also take place there. Of course, the CCRB puts out data all throughout the year based on all of the complaints that we gathered throughout the year. We put out semi-annual reports, annual reports, statistic-based reports, and of course, issue-based reports. So recently, we put out a report about youth interactions with the NYPD. We've also put out a report on the use of tasers. We put out a report on sexual assault, sexual misconduct by NYPD officers. So all this is available on our website. Anyone can go and access that information. And lastly, before I close, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm part of the outreach unit, and what we do is we conduct presentations like this. Not as fast as this one, because I know we are low on time. Usually these run a little bit longer, a lot more details are provided, but we do provide this information all across the 5 boroughs to all kinds of organizations, whether it's schools or after-school programs, community organizations, NYCHAs, precinct councils, community boards like this one, really anywhere that people gather, we will be there to share this information with them. And yeah, any questions? Sorry I went really fast, but I just want to try to fit all that in the time that we had left. So, you're muted.
Thank you for that. We're not going to take any questions for tonight, but all that's really great information. If you can give us, the flyers or whatever information, and we can share it with the whole board.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mara. I'm going to say your name probably wrong, Mara. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm just trying to figure out how to stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, so we're going to go to the committee reports, and we will be sharing all.
Marilyn, you're breaking up a little. I'm not sure the board is familiar as to what their next step is. Can you just repeat that? I know it's committee reports, but you muted out completely.
Elena, something wrong with the system.
Marilyn just got voted out. She's asking me to just take over for now, but she'll sign back in shortly. So yeah, we're doing committee reports. And again, I don't have an agenda right in front of me, so we're going on order. Alex, Consumer Affairs. Alexandra.
So keep this quick. Our next meeting is going to be Thursday, February 18th at 6:30. That's next week. I'm going to send out an email to the committee members. And one of the things that we're going to be covering is, and Alton will probably get into this a little bit later, a couple weeks ago, the Philip Committee brought in speakers to talk about bringing in more banks into the neighborhood. So that's one of the things that we'll be covering, but I don't want to give it away for him.
Okay, so next we have environmental. I believe Oscar's not here. Okay, health.
That's me, and unfortunately, since I just got the position,
Today is the formal day that I become the chair of the health committee. So first of all, I just want to thank Ashley for doing an extremely amazing job as health chair, and thank you. And I will actually do you no wrong, and I know I have big shoes to fill with this. And I also want to, I don't know if Helen's still on the call, but I also want to say hi to Helen and congratulations on her new position, and how I am so happy that as you got this new position, I got the new position and we could work together. I memorized your phone number already, so been knowing your phone number. So I'm glad that I could do this community board service, and I can't wait to get to work. So thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Park Committee?
I believe that's Parks, Marilena.
Park, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just teasing you.
It's a mess.
It's totally fine.
It's Parks and Cultural Affairs if we have to go there.
We have to be technical, yeah.
There you go. So just a few things, which sadly I feel needed to be shared by either the Parks Committee or the specific entity, which in this case I guess would be the Alliance or the CAB. There is a really exciting art exhibit that's traveling, that's coming to Flushing Meadows Corona Park. It's only going to be here 2 days. It's by a female artist collective called Swoon. The work is amazing. I don't know the full details about what it is, but this weekend, the 13th and 14th, it is going to be in the park. I don't have more details than that. I just saw it on social media, so I wanted to bring it to all your attention, continuing in the seeing more art and being more engaged with art in our community. Christian already mentioned the stuff about the mural, so we'll keep you posted on when that is finished so that we can celebrate that. But kudos to Daisy and Christian and everyone that's helped bring that to fruition. We certainly will be doing more of these, as Christian has already alluded to, with trying to get more funding for that. The only other thing I guess I would say is I continue to push for transparency between the Alliance and the CAB for Flushing Meadows Corona Park. I attended their most recent board meeting. Christian was there as well. My sentiment was they want the meeting to be as private as possible. Despite being a public meeting, you had to register ahead of time and they would only give you the Zoom link an hour before. So I feel like there's some things to unpack there. But I continue to, vice chair that organization. We did send out a survey, which probably some of you received, asking for feedback. So if you did receive that, please respond to it and give us your honest feedback of what we can do better and how we can improve the relationship between Parks Department and the Community Advisory Board arm for that. So look out for more details about our upcoming meeting, which will be in sometime in March. And thanks so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Gregory. Thank you. Transportation.
Hi, everybody. I first should want something that I should have done last month when you guys told me I had been appointed chair, which is to thank Linda for all of her work over the last several years. I think she did an amazing job. And so I just want to acknowledge that. We are having a transportation committee next Tuesday at 6:30. Everyone should have received the meeting notice. I do want to highlight two things actually. There are two areas that have had issues with pedestrian safety in terms of street crossing. One is at the corner of Whitney and Judge near St. Bartholomew's. The other is along 41st Avenue, running from 79th Street to Baxter. Really, I think we're talking 79, 80, 81. And there have been comments about this over the past year or so more. And DOT is going to be there. So anyone who lives in that area, in those two areas, who finds themselves crossing those streets, the 41st Avenue's area on the backside of the hospital, who wants to share their feelings about it, should make an effort to take part in the meeting next week. So I think, another item on the agenda is some pedestrian crossings across Baxter, south of Roosevelt, and the intersection of Glean and Roosevelt. The car traffic, how the turning is regulated there. So anyone who's into those issues, this is the moment to be heard. That's next Tuesday evening. Thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you. Public safety? Lucy?
Okay, hi guys. I try to unmute myself here. Okay, we had a quorum at our meeting and we started to vote. We haven't voted in quite a few months, so this meeting we all got together and voted, so I'm happy about that. Let me start off with, if you don't mind, I'm going to just read you some of the answers I got back from Police Officer John Worsard. We've been asking questions, but he couldn't make the meeting last week due to the fact that he was asked to go on a special investigation. So luckily he answered me back by email. We asked about the officers that might have come down with the second phase of COVID. We had 4 last month. They are still being treated. There's no new ones at this time. And that they just wanted to reconfirm that even though they've been hit with COVID, that the precinct is fully staffed and still covered most of the area. We also asked about gun arrests. We've heard about some shootings, and I got one of the stories that happened in Brooklyn this past weekend, and some of those that were wounded rushed over to the Queens side, especially a 20-year-old young man who was shot in the mouth. He's in stable condition, is no life-threatening, but his partners that were shot or friends that he was with in Brooklyn have life-threatening issues at this point. They still don't know what caused it. That goes for the Brooklyn precinct as well as the 110. They're trying to get more information, but they're not getting a full report from the 20-year-old. So hopefully we'll find out more about that. This all happened on this Saturday night around 7:30 p.m. We've been noticing a lot of people crossing over the bridge and coming into Queens from other areas of Manhattan as well as Brooklyn, so we're keeping an eye on that. We're watching for guns and for gang-related situations. There was a gang-related incident about a month ago, and the FBI is working with the 110 precinct on those issues now, so hopefully we'll be under control of that. Prostitution was another thing that was brought up. It's right near PS 19 High School. So they're looking into that at this point, and that's the NCO officers especially. I also asked about on Broadway and Whitney about the homeless and transients. They're working with Breaking Ground. They're going to try to make this a more ritual where they will go around the neighborhood. And you were mentioning you were seeing people helping. They're asking neighbors to come and help them with these situations. So I'm glad to hear some good news on that at this point. Graffiti cleanup. They received 6 to 5 gallons of containers of paint. They've used up 2 of the 6 containers, but heard nothing more about funding for paint. So I'm hoping Christian can help us with that. I also asked about NCO officers having Zoom meetings. A lot of people who are not computer savvy don't know how to use a computer for this. So they said that they could go online by looking at the phone numbers of each NCO officer's quadrant by just going to the 110 precinct on their internet or on their phone, and they could find when they're doing their Zoom meetings, and they could call in as we try to do here at our meetings. Another one is a website, and I'm hoping one of the family members can help these people out, is www.nyc.gov. That'll also tell you how to be part of the meeting. So hopefully people can do that, and then we can see where it goes from there. I do want to announce that the fire department had 5 people at Engine Company 289 who were related with COVID-19, and one of them is the captain himself, Captain Carmine. And he mentioned that he also is out sick with this. So this is a very serious situation at this point. They're also asking us again to please get the word out about how they're entering into Elmhurst. Elmhurst has had a lot of fires, and part of the reason is that they block the entrance and their balcony. And this hinders their work in trying to save people. So if you can get the word out, not to leave anything unattended on top of the stove, and to make sure that their egress is always clear. That goes to the outside door or balcony or back door of any house. They wanted me to emphasize that one more time. Okay, that's it. I'll go right into the liquor licenses now. We'll go with the first one, El Sardinero, which is 7518 Roosevelt Avenue. They had one incident, but nothing bad. They didn't come. We usually vote no if they don't answer our calls to come and talk. So hopefully they'll come back next month. Then we have Wangzhou Incorporated, A Wang Kitchen at 8405 Queens Boulevard. They had no serious incident with the 110 precinct, so we don't usually call them in. They got a yes vote from us on that. Santa Barbara Service LTD, Mama's Pizza and Cafe at 814 Roosevelt Avenue had zero incident. It is under the 500-foot rule, but they have done very well, so we decided to say yes for that one. El Zocola Grill Corporation at 40-10 83rd Street had 5 incidences. Again, it was under the 500-foot rule, so we talked about this briefly, and I checked on a few things that they had brought up that night, but we voted no for this one. So that's our committee report. So, does anybody have any questions?
Actually, Lucy, I do, and you know what I'm going to ask you. So I do know that at Zocalo, we understood the 500-foot rule portion of things, but I know you said you're going to be investigating a little bit more. My understanding, as far as I picked up on it, was that the current owners of El Zocalo did not take over until June, and some of the violations that we received date back to January. So you shouldn't be held accountable for anything up until June. So I want to just bear in mind that you did receive the latest report, and that is referenced, because if that was a deciding factor with your committee, it should no longer be.
I don't know if that was their deciding factor. They just voted. We asked what the vote was, and it was no.
Right. So for what it's worth, I will be clear with everybody here. You know, some of the violations that the restaurant did have dated back to January, but the restaurant did not officially take over until June. So I just want to be very clear with that. The 500-foot rule still stands for what it is, but we have to put that out.
Right. And I checked out the 500-foot rule. I found out that the people that he said were closed were not closed. They are open and have active liquor licenses. So that's the report right now. So I'll leave this up to the rest of the board members now. Marilyn, it's up to the rest of them now.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
Yes, I can move the motion.
Okay, thank you, Gurdeep. Anyone second?
I'll second it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And to be clear, for record purposes, Marilyn, you just said the motion, but the motion is to approve the committee report as submitted by the Public Safety
Yes,
Committee.
but Chris, we do not know the other person he's getting a license when he's getting. So then we know it's an old report. On that old report, we are the basis. If we knew this is the guy, he's not taking over, he's getting June, then we have no problem. We should say yes.
Yes, I understand, but Mr. Narula, that's the whole purpose. If that's the case, then you have to do a roll call vote, and you may vote for that one. But I do want to be very clear that the committee was made aware that night that these violations from January to June do not pertain to this current owner, and that was considered that night. So I wanted to be very clear on that we cannot say in our letter to the SLA that this place had violations because they predated the owner. I do want to be very clear on that. So that, however you guys implement it yourself, but the latest reports does state that. However you guys want to vote.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I know we should be, in the future, we should be very careful.
Well, then if that's the case, then you might have to do a roll call vote for what it is, Marilyn. Well, the motion was already made and it was already dropped. So I don't know how you guys want to handle it, but you know, you have to just please factor that in.
So we can approve it. The motion we can approve.
Well, let's go. Let's do a roll call vote. Let's move on.
Okay, let's do a roll call.
Just for that one, correct? We're doing a roll, so we're keeping them all. So they're all going to follow the committee report with the exception of that one. Is that correct?
Is that how you want it?
Is
It's
there
up-
any way you can look into that one?
I
That's
looked
questionable?
into what they were saying because I went by the 500-foot rule, and he was telling me that the other businesses around him were closed. But when I checked, they were not. They were opened, and they were closed only when they were ordered by the state to close. They still have active liquor licenses, so that's where my vote went because I said I was going to check on that. There are violations to this location, and they did state that this was from the previous owner when he took over this business. So, but they voted no, and then they had their reasons. I don't know, but the point is, they came in no for Zacola, yes for Santa Barbara, who was was under the 500-foot rule. So it depends now which way the committee, each of the board members want to vote.
So I just have a quick question. The new owner with the
Yeah.
violations that he has, is he planning on, addressing those issues?
I hope so. We did talk to him about that, but he was more complaining about the ones that were already closed around him. So I looked only into that. All right, so I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, and Marilyn, the truth is that his violations were something he has to rectify more so. It was like sale to a minor. That's not something you fix.
No, it was sales to intoxicate a person and an unlicensed second bar, which we addressed with him. So he says, no, he will not let that happen. So it depends now on the board which way they would like to go.
Okay, so we'll do a roll call then.
Okay.
Chao Chung Chen. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I say everybody doing very well. They're working very hard.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chen.
Thank you. David Chung.
Voting to accept the committee's recommendations.
Linda Corral.
I accept the committee recommendations.
Marilyn, but I have to, again, I'm a little confused as to what the motion is. The motion to, so it's not, so we're doing the committee work and then we're going to do a circle separate? Is that what's happening?
Well, the motion on the floor is to accept the committee's report.
Okay.
Do you want to rescind that and then just vote on them separately?
I don't know.
I think we should vote on them separately.
Okay.
All right, so that would be fair, I think.
Okay.
That's how we voted, so.
Okay.
All right. I just said each one.
So if nothing else, I mean, I don't necessarily you would do each one because the only one in question right now is that very last one. Because again, we did receive information after the fact. So if I may, for sake of moving the meeting forward, proceed with the first original three for committee report for what it is, and then that last one that has since then changed some of their information, that one could be separate. So it's 2 votes, one for the general and one just for that one item. Yes?
Okay, that sounds good.
Fair enough. So far you're good because everybody's selected the committee report, and while you're at it, you may as well throw in the second one. However you want to.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to Mr. Chen. You okay with that? Yes for the 3, and then what do you say for the one that?
Okay, yes. All right.
Okay. David Chung?
Yes.
So for the last one that we're unsure of, you want to keep the no on that, or it's 2 votes now? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
Marilyn, let me just clarify. So guys, we're in the home stretch, and I feel like we're going to lose you guys. So to be very clear, everybody, please pay attention. There are several items that the committee voted on. They were all handled, and that committee report is being accepted. However, there is one item that since the committee we have received updated information on, and some of the committee members may or may not want to change their minds. So you should be just saying a yes and a no, or whatever. We need 2 votes from you. So when she calls your name, yes to the committee report, but yes or no for the second item that we just received updated information. So be clear, guys, 2 votes are coming out of you every time your name is called. Thanks, Marilyn.
Okay, sorry about that. David?
Yeah. Yes and yes.
Okay, thank you. Linda Corral?
Yes and yes.
Michelle Dunstan?
Yes. Yes and yes.
Okay. Ari Espinal? Okay, we might have lost her. Ari?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I was in another call.
It's okay. So is it 2 votes?
Doesn't smile. Yeah, look.
Yes.
And yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to say yes and yes. Kristen Gonzalez.
Yes and yes.
Vincent Lasello. Don't think he's on. Carol Machaluski. Carol. Suhail Mahat.
Yes and yes.
Thank you. Patricia Martin.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to say yes, and then I think based on the new information, I'm going to have to say no on the second.
Okay. Sylvia Martin.
Sylvia Martin.
Yes and yes.
And yes.
Pat,
Yes.
you have some feedback from Pat. Thank you.
Sylvia, could you say that one more time?
One more time.
Yes for the first and yes for the second.
Thank you. Matthew McElroy.
Yes on the first three. And let me make sure I understand this correctly. If I say yes for the last one, I'm voting to disapprove the liquor license, right?
No.
A yes vote is to disapprove.
No, you're going to approve the liquor license
On Zocalo?
Yes.
on Zocola.
You voted to approve the liquor license.
No, we disapproved it. We voted no on that one.
All right, so on the first three, a yes. On the last one, if I say yes, I'm approving your no vote, right?
No.
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 No. Yes is to approve.
Yes is to approve the liquor license.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Then yes on all. Yes on all. Yes and yes.
Okay, thank you. Is Rovenia still there?
Oh, Ravenia, do you want to vote on this?
Yes, I do. Yes, yes. And I would like for someone to tell Lucy to call me because I want to discuss with her another matter about the General Assembly.
Okay.
With the Borough Hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask her to call me, please.
Okay, Lucy, did you copy on that?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Okay. So Ravenia is voting yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, and tell her to call me.
Yes, she heard.
I'll call her.
Okay, Edgar Moya.
Yes and yes.
Ruby Muhammad. Ruby? She might not be here again. Sandra Munez.
Yes. And yes.
Okay.
2 yeses.
Okay, thank you. Gurdeep Singh Narula. Gurdeep?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Georgina Oliver.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes to everything.
Thank you. Alexa Ponce. Oh, sorry, Alexandra Owens.
Yes, yes.
Alexa Ponce. We might have lost her, probably. Ashley Reed.
Yes and yes.
Christian Romero.
Yes and yes.
Clara Salas.
Yes and yes.
Lucy Chirillo.
Yes and no.
Abram Sevilla.
Yes and no.
Alton Derek Smith.
Marilena, can I say something?
Yes, Georgina.
Yes, I was driving, and I guess I kind of missed what the voting was all about because I voted no against that committee, that liquor store, and I want to vote yes for the others and no for that one, like I did at the meeting.
I'll change it for you. Thank you.
I don't know.
Alton, are you here?
Yes, I'm going to say yes and no.
Okay. Gregory Spock,
Yes and yes.
Dewan Tariq, Marcello Pesta.
Yes and yes.
Okay. Lou Walker, I don't think he's here anymore. No. Okay, I'm gonna count that up. But in the meantime, I'm gonna tell Alton Euler, please go ahead and do your report just for the sake of time while I count it up.
We do have an item. I was going to share it.
Yes, yes, please. Hi, everyone, and thanks, Red. We had a special Europe committee last month, and we had guests from CC Children Committee for Children of New York, and we were joined by the Safety Committee, and we were joined by the Consumer Affairs Committee and their members. It was a special meeting because we was able to go over where we currently are in terms of a BDD, that's a Banking Development District. We're getting ready to share a screen showing exactly, because you need the visual to really understand what's going on at this moment in time. And
give me 1 second, Alton.
Okay, thanks. So while we're working on that, in our statement of needs, we indicated that that Community Board 4 is underserved when it comes to banking. And we needed necessary data to support that. One of the sources that we went to was CCC report. That report was very alarming, given the fact that it showed how underserved Community Board 4 is. Based upon that, we requested a BDD for our area. We wasn't aware at the time that we already had a banking development district. So we sent the information to New York State Finance Services. And I spoke with Europe Franklin, and she spoke with several of us regarding the BDD. And what she made us aware of that in 2005, Queens Saving Bank of New York was designated as a BDD bank, but that was over 16 years ago. And what she wanted to do is to arrange a meeting with the bank and us, with the community board, because she said the community board plays a pivotal role in developing a BDD. We have a lot of input, we have a lot of say-so as to what our economic needs are and our consumer needs when it comes to banking. And in 2005, apparently, this is something that we pushed for. But at the time, Lucy, she was not at our meeting, and everybody wondered what was taking place. And I want to thank Lucy for bringing it to our attention that there was a fight back in 2005 for a BDD. So bringing everything forward, that was 16 years ago. There's now a time and need for another bank. Given the fact that we lost the bank on Junction Boulevard, I think we may have also lost the bank on 82nd. We had a full service bank. We had two full service banks that's now ATM banks. So when you look at this report was done before the bank on Junction Boulevard was in, before the full service bank was reduced to ATM banks, before there was possibility. I think there's a bank that's also closed on 82nd. So if you look at the report, this report was provided by CCC. They attended the meeting. And when you look at the meeting, when you look at the number it shows how unrepresented we are compared to New York City. If you look at the very last line, it says New York City. On the average in New York City, there's 1,757 banks. For the number of people, it's 3,889. But when you look up at Corona, there's only 2 banks for 22,055 people. In East Elmhurst, there's 1 bank for 16,745. And then when we look at Elmhurst, there's 11 banks for 6,116 people. So when you take that and you compare it to New York City as a whole, we are grossly underserved. So what we move forward here is that New York State Finance Services said that they do want to meet with us. They do want to explore the possibility of another BGG bank in our area, but they want to first meet with Queens Bank, for us to meet with Queens Bank and see how that all fit in. Now, apparently, usually we get information, usually we get something that we just either approve or disapprove. In this case, we have to have input. We have to actually, based upon what I'm hearing, is that we have to also indicate what kind of bank we need if we move forward with a BGD. Can it be a credit bank? Can it be a CDF bank? What represent our needs economically? So hopefully next month, at next month's meeting, we can hopefully bring in Queens Bank and New York State Finances. And then we're gonna have to meet and decide what is the best interest of our community. And moving forward. So we had the pleasure of CCC. If you look at the top, their link is at the very top. And hold on a second, I just want to make sure. We had Benjamin Collin and we had Jack Mullen. They both research developers. They are the ones who developed this chart. And they are a wonderful source for our community. They did an excellent presentation showing exactly what is going on in terms of our bank. But they're more than banks. They're more about, their mission is children. So really what they're saying is what the economic have an effect on the kids. But they also are a source for this type of data as well. And with that, I'm going to conclude and say that we have to begin to prepare ourselves for our meeting with New York State Finance Services, develop a BGD bank. And that draws my report to a conclusion. If there's any questions, I'm open.
Thank you so much, Alton, for all the work that you dedicated and brought this to our attention. We will be moving forward with the additional meetings and then bringing it to the full board, hopefully next month. That's what we're hoping.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Alton. This was great. And I just want to let everyone know that the first vote and the second vote for the liquor license, they both passed and we had a quorum, so everything's okay. And the last committee, sorry, Sylvia, the youth committee.
Hi, everyone. I just took over the position of chair for the youth committee, but I want to thank Alexa Ponce for all her hard work as the chairperson, especially on the youth fairs that we had. I've enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to working with everyone on the committee, and I will be sending out an email very soon to set up a meeting for us to meet.
Thank you, Sylvia. Wonderful. Thank you. So we usually go into our open session number 2, but this meeting was very long and it went over. And thank you everyone for participating and obviously staying to this late. Do we want to skip over session number 2, or does anyone who just has something particular to say can just say, okay, I just, I want to speak, and whoever doesn't want to say anything We don't have to call names.
Marilyn, I think that the majority of people who are behind know how to use the raise hand function.
Okay.
Or at the very least, wave your arms around, and then we can
Yeah.
grab you that. But I don't know.
We could. All right, so I guess we're good. We could skip that. So thank you everyone again. And meeting is adjourned, and I'll see you guys next month. And we'll keep in touch with all info and flyers and everything in between. Thank you, everyone.
Great meeting, Maria Elena. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Nice meeting. Good
Bye,
night,
guys. Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Congratulations to all the new chairperson. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Congrats, everyone. Good night.
Night.